Welcome back, everybody, to the NLC Full Open. We've had our first series done and dusted. Absolve have qualified for the quarterfinals over Singularity, and now we have our second series on the platter ready to go. Guys, we've had a brief chat about ENCE versus Riddle. We got Jamada's opinion, which obviously was clearly favoring ENCE. I'm going to bring Guldborg in now. You obviously went for Riddle, and I'm hoping it's a little bit more than Denmark, but could you tell me a little bit about why you have chosen Riddle here? And if it's Denmark, then sure.
So, I used to be a coach. Nihus used to be my top laner. I think he's pretty good. I think the Chelm, who's also paired up in the jungle, this meta fits him perfectly. If any of you, Scoundrel, you should know Chelm's pentakill he got last split, 1v5 almost. I think it was 2v5 on the Graves as well, with an absolutely insane Graves form when he was pulling out from Dusty. You got energy, you got Jack Spectre and Quickset. I just think that all around, Riddle has kind of superstars, amateur superstars in that roster, and to me, I feel like it's been a bit of a fluke that they've gone 2-0. I believe that their potential on this roster is higher than we've seen so far.
A lot of really good players on both teams, if I'm completely honest with you. Yeah. Like Kevo, incredibly good AD carry. Taiki and Nile in the top side for ENCE is really strong. Chelm, who obviously will remember, absolutely from the NLC. Energy, who I think, I'm not incorrect by saying that's Energy Ice Cold, right? That's the same energy that's Energy Ice Cold. I'm pretty certain.
It's the same
yes,
energy
Orcs
that played
Orcs
versus
is telling me yes. So yeah, he's a very experienced mid laner. And then Jack Spectre, clearly, who had that series, and Quickseth, who's had I think Quickseth was playing in European Masters. I think it might be for XL 2 years ago or something. Yeah, so he's had a lot of experience at high level too. So really good players. Anyway, we are through the draft now. Jamada, first pick on the Syndra coming out for ENCE.
Yeah, we've seen varying priority on Syndra, I think, throughout the tournament. Some teams are willing to outright first rotation. Sometimes it's sort of R3. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see this in the hands of ENCE. It does set up potentially for a really strong mid 2v2 as well, depending on what Taiki wants to actually lock in. So I'm always a fan of it early on. It does mean, however, that Riddle are going to respond with the Galio, which can definitely nullify some of that lane pressure earlier on.
It also put pressure onto the draft because Camille is still open. You have that third pick with bans. So now you're like, okay, do you want to blind pick the Camille? We counter you, or do you want to give us the composition here? So I love that. I also love that they're opening up the map, because that is something Simply has been good at. Simply is known for his Twisted Faith. He's known for enabling his laners. So getting onto the map with champions like Galio really enables that as well. Taiki is going to go on to the aggressive front here. It's actually really interesting that we haven't seen any junglers picked up by Riddle either, where we usually see when Graves is open, they're going to take it. Yeah. But they are falling for the pressure ends. They will actually take the Camille, and I think you kind of have to versus the Camille Galio combo. You ban out Renekton yourself, so there's a lot of pressure on the champion.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about it's red side Galio too, so Riddle will always, oh no. That's a dangerous one.
That's a banger. That's a banger. That's a banger.
That is a banger. Holy moly.
Yeah, and now if there's one thing that ENCE at least have in their favor, they're going to be able to sort of root out some more junglers, some of the S tier junglers, potentially something like the Hecarim, the Graves, two things that immediately spring to mind that will do really, really well and work quite well off the Galio and the priority and the follow-up engage you can offer. So if you're a Riddle, I think you probably end up banning out 2 AD carries. What they want to ban out, it's entirely up to... Oh no, yeah. 2 AD carries, entirely up to them what they really want to get rid of. And then ENCE, I would imagine it's 2 junglers.
I think this is such a hype matchup because I've always been asked for Nili to go on these carry performances, right? I wanted to see him brawl it down in the top lane because, he was top 10 on the challenger ladder, just playing Spam and Camille, getting that freeload on that champion. And now you're going against Nihus, who's basically known for his jacks as well. So it's really just a carry matchup in the top side here. And with the carry junglers coming into it, we can't really expect too much pressure, maybe a bit. But this is still also about the jungle matchup. So it's going to be really interesting how the map is going to be played out. But Jack's obviously already favored because he has the Galio on his side, so there will always be that backup and shadowing. Now, 2 jungle bans coming through. Hecarim and Graves is away, and that means you could go for Nidalee as well. Obviously, we've not seen too many Nidalees actually working out. Lee Sin and Gragas also champions you can pull out against the Kindred, but they are going to prioritize the support pick here. I actually like the Leona a lot. I feel like Pantheon has been a bit underwhelming. Leona has been really great frontline, a lot of CC you're bringing out in team fights.
It's gonna be the Jarvan. We have not seen a Jarvan for quite some time, but obviously the Jarvan Galio combo is always going to be a tried and tested favorite. This is definitely going to be a bit interesting one. I think Senna makes sense to me. I think Senna's one of the few remaining kind of S tier AD carries left up available. Plus, you already have a lot of damage with Camille, Kindred, and Syndra. So if you're looking for a more supportive utility type AD carry, then Senna is the way forward here. I'm actually quite liking the way that ENCE's draft is shaping up right now. I think they've kind of got the right ingredients. We'll have to see. The Braum does come through though. So I wouldn't say the Braum's getting a huge amount of value out of this, but it is maybe pretty good at protecting against like this heavy melee comp.
I mean, Braum is also not always nice when you have double AD composition, right? So when you have the Senna and when you have the Kindred, it's easy gank targets, it's easy late invades for a level 1 up. So I want to see something spicy from the get-go. Speaking of the map potential here, if we do end up in a 1-3-1, Jax will be favored with the Galio, and then we get a Quickstep special. Quickstep was so known back in the days for his rush that it would always be banned out against him in like the first period of bans. So we got people on comforts on both sides here, where I just do favor Riddle a little bit because they can play the map a bit more with that Galio and Jarvan.
I was hoping that ENCE would take away the Thresh, in all honesty. I think when you're playing into Galio and you're playing into Jarvan, you're going to have to pick in a mobile AD carry. I think Thresh had so much value, but I can understand why they want the Braum. It still sort of functions in that pure sort of alley, but I think you really wanted a Lantern here for your 2 mobile carries versus Jarvan. And
or just a play for the Jarvan.
Dangerous, yeah.
It's just, look, I love carry top lane matchups. They always make games spicy. Gents, before we head over to our casters, who do you think takes this first game based on draft alone?
Riddle.
I'm actually edging towards Riddle too, even though I've predicted ENCE. I feel like Riddle have really given themselves a lot to work with here. They've got mid prio, they've got a pretty strong like duo in the mid jungle. Should have priority in bot side. Like they've got a lot going for this composition.
Yeah, well, I think there are 2 sets of incredibly good players matching up here, and I really think we are going to get a good series out of this one. So I'm going to hand it over to Orcs and Hitbrain for the start of our second series, ENCE versus Riddle.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel. Hello and welcome to the caster desk. We have series number 1 behind us. We're on to series number 2, ENCE versus Riddle. Jax in the top lane. Orcs, I am loving what Riddle have put together already.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart adaptation. The Jax is something that into the Camille, this just becomes a point where he just wins for the rest of the game. And that's kind of just how it is. And Camille shouldn't really find a way back in if they're both played optimally. So a really strong answer to a not quite as good in the team fights, but either way, he'll still have some strength. I think a big power for him going to be a little bit better in the team fights is the fact that there's so many auto attackers on the side of ENCE. And even the Braum is relied on auto attacks to stack his passive. So his counter strike does get a ton of value in this situation. But
yeah,
I feel like Riddle got a lot of tools, but I feel like ENCE don't exactly have a bad composition themselves. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out.
No, I think you are right. I don't think a team has been out-drafted here. I think they both have win conditions. I think they both have late game. I am really excited to see how this goes. It's been a while since I've seen a Jax in competitive. Obviously, the reason that people kind of favor things like a Camille over a Jax as a split pusher is Camille's ability to team fight. You don't really quite get the same level. It's not Fiora bad on a Jax. You can still jump in and get the big counter strike off, but I still think Camille in a team fight can offer a lot.
I mean, that's the thing. A lot of tools to offer in that regard, and there just isn't quite as much for the Jax. But again, won't necessarily come down a team fight in this one. Having the Galio as well means it's a bit of global pressure you can play around. But either way, the dive potential off this Riddle lineup is really strong. If they can get on top of the likes of this Syndra or this Senna, you can definitely punish them.
All right, well, we're on to the Rift. It doesn't look like we're having any shenanigans once again. Isn't weird because we do have that Braum, but looks like they don't really want to use that to go for a early play or anything like that. Rather play towards the lane and not potentially throw away anything in the lane early. So junglers look to be starting off on their red side, both apiece. It looks like they're both being getting a leash as well. Nihus is going to come here and help Chelm with his red buff, and Kevo and Steph will help Taiki.
I still feel it's a little bit of a waste of potential not seeing the level 1 invades with the Braum, but oh well. One day, hopefully.
Especially when you actually do have this comp. I actually would have really loved to have seen a level 1 Braum. Because remember, Senna can actually stack a Braum passive incredibly quickly. Q auto, that's 3 procs if you've used the Q. Then you've also got a Kindred who can just dance with arrows forward. Suddenly someone is locked down. So actually incredibly fast at stacking them if they'd gone for that level 1. Decide not to go for it. You could always walk into a big AoE stun from Nihus or something like that. So slightly understandable why they've gone for that. But for now, it is just the normal lane assignments as is. And Taiki actually going straight from red to blue for himself. Same done for Chelm though. So junglers will be swapping sides of the map. And level 3 on Chelm means he does have some pretty good gank potential. The Syndra obviously got the flash, but does need to be a little bit careful. As Kevin's just going to take a light bit of trade. Quicksef almost getting concussive striked up.
Losing a lot of HP, but ultimately on a Senna can always sustain that back up now. And NG doing a lot to maintain priority in the mid lane. And it feels pretty rough right now because Taiki's path so that he's going to be moving down towards bot lane. And he doesn't really have the lane control to go for the scuttle if contested. Bot lane has priority for Riddle. Mid lane has priority for Riddle. If he goes for this bot side scuttle, he could be challenged on it.
Quicksef is going to take a little bit there, but he's okay. We'll see where the mark spawns as well for Taiki. That's going to be something to track. And it is actually the bot lane scuttle crab. He thinks that he actually can't contest that. The pings are going down, and it looks like Taiki might get double crabbed here. Chelm will be able to pick this one up, and Taiki now realizing that he's lost out on both the crabs.
Yeah, this is really bad, actually. Good move from Riddle to secure this one on the bot side, deny away from him. But, I mean, this is the problem. If he goes bot side, the bot lane from Riddle can move up, Energy can move, he's going to get collapsed on. The reason he went for the top side scuttle was because Nilly could potentially move to assist him, but because Cheon was already there and taking it, like he just misses out.
Yeah, it's going to pop.
Moving towards the bot side as well.
There it is, the saddest Scryer's Bloom you'll ever see. That's great as well. Jack Spectre got a bit of extra gold from that. Overall, Riddle just coming up really good from that play. Good read on the map from them. They are going to use the Hawk shot to see if anybody is waiting about in the bush. Taiki is just going to continue to farm up here. It's been a full clear from Chelm, so he's gone to base, got the boots, and got the red smite for himself. And I think level 6 is where this is going to get fruity for Riddle. When you're running the Death Bowl with the Cataclysm into Heroic Entrance, is Nearly going to go use a good hook shot, actually, to get a pretty favorable trade onto Nihus.
It's been pretty solid in this early game. There will come a point where the Jax really just never loses in this matchup if it's played correctly. Obviously, a big part of Camille's power is her auto attacks, and the Counter-Strike really shuts that down.
Oh, that's just bullying.
Yep, and the wave's actually in a really bad spot, so I think Nihus has to actually teleport in if he wants to crash this. And his jungler's nowhere near to assist him.
However, Taiki is about. Nilly gonna go for the recall here. And actually, it looks like Nihus is just gonna walk back to lane. Nilly decides to cancel and maybe catch himself a little bit more farm.
I think he expected the TP in, so he was gonna TP back with items, but seeing that Nihus didn't use it, he's just gonna keep it frozen here and build up a CS lead. You can see the wave is frozen, so Nihus is missing a ton in this situation.
This is really bad for Nihus not to go for that. I've gone for the Vampiric Scepter, so it looks like we're getting the Bork build out from him. But man, this is rough for Nihus.
Definitely is, and right now he's scared to walk up because he knows his jungler is just shown on the bot side taking Dragon. And Taiki's actually within vicinity. Nilly's probably he's actually very close to level 6. Has it now. So ample opportunity to set this up for a gank. There's not much Nihus can do to outplay this, but I think Taiki, a little bit low on HP, a little bit under-leveled, isn't going to go for the play.
Actually, looks like Chell might be looking for him. Energy's waiting about. That's the mark, and it's going to be denied. Taiki just too low, doesn't want to contest it. Teleport came in from Energy in the mid lane. And Taiki is just having a very rough showing now. But Nihus also almost 25 CS down. He's going to jump onto Nilly. They are just going to stun each other here, but Nilly's just going to come out for the better half of that trade. Vampiric Scepter and Corrupting Potion does mean that Nihus will be able to regenerate some of that sustainability in the lane as Taiki getting chunked out by Chelm in his own jungle.
Yeah, not a good start for the Kindred, missing both skulls and the third one with the mark. At this point, it's like, where is Taiki ever going to get marks from? He's really underleveled right now as well.
He's going to struggle. Quickstep gets a good hook in. Flay, here comes the heroic entrance. Steph's going to get knocked up. They're looking for the taunt. Energy just flashes in. He's going to find this. Jack Spectra flashes forward and finds first blood. Nihus looks for the stun, doesn't quite get it. So that'll be all she wrote on that fight as Riddle take first blood onto their AD carry.
Yeah, they get the kill in the end, but it's a lot invested in that situation for just the one kill. And there's no objective to translate this into. There's no dragon up and available. All it really means is that they can get a better reset timing off and move towards the top side. But in honesty, Kevo is clued in on that, and you can see Kevo walking up with Stefe, so they're not even going to gain that.
Chelm is able to steal away the blue buff, so denying Simply some of that for himself. We'll be able to head back towards his own blue buff and probably hand that over to Energy nice and soon. Energy with the magic resist boots and Predator ready to fire.
Look at his top lane CS difference, though. Like, nearly got more alone time with the wave. And again, when I said Jax will win later in the game in this matchup, it really... It's like if they're even. You know, if he's this far behind, it's not going to happen.
May have to see something from Chelm to come help with this. As Simply misses out on the scatter of the week. Quickstep pulls him in. They've got the Ash Arrow to work with. Simply locked down, and Jack Spectra will find his second kill here on the Ash. BF sword in the inventory, now worth a shutdown already. Could be a juicy target. ENCE are going to answer out, though. They're looking for a Rift Herald for themselves, and I'd like to see this actually given to put Nilly further ahead of Nihus.
Yeah, definitely a great utilization if you put it down there. Bit rough from Simply, though. Overextended, got punished pretty effectively by Quickstep and Jack Spectra. Now, they're going to be able to start putting some damage into this tower. Now, this really puts pressure on ENCE to make good use of this Herald, because the 2 plates that the Herald is worth have already been taken. That's 2 plates down. So you lost a kill, and you also traded evenly in terms of raw plates. Now, the difference maker is if you can use that Herald to finish a tower off. Really comes down to the execution here, whether that was a good or bad trade or not, and we'll have to see how it pans out.
Absolutely. They're actually hanging around to see if they can take a third plate here in the bot lane, but it looks like with Kevo and Steph making their way here, might be a little hard, although Jack Spectra's still trying for it. Nihus wants to try and clear this wave out. He's got hook shots on. He's looking for the stun. Actually, will lock Nilly down as Nilly actually has used the ultimate. Taiki does have his own, though. The heroic entrance comes in. Got the 2-man taunt from Energy. Energy not able to do any more here. Fantastic pickup there from ENCE to be able to find something in response. And the pressure is still being asserted in this bot lane. Riddle, the plate resistances have worn off for them, so this turret could be going low, and it may just be first turret blood to Riddle, which feels incredibly rough for ENCE considering they were the team to get the Rift Herald.
Yeah, definitely not an ideal scenario there. They win out on the top side, they get that kill. Energy waste time moving over, but they're losing so much on this bot lane, and this Ashe is looking really powerful already. Jack Spectra, super strong at 2-0 scoreline.
Well, that base was 2 longswords, a agility cloak, and Berserker's Greaves without having flat boots. That was a massive base for Jack Spectra there.
Yeah, a lot of gold.
Cloud Dragon spawning up. I actually would like to see Riddle try and get this, because you're already relying on, you know, the Ash Arrow and the Galio ult. Both of those are on fairly lengthy cooldowns at the moment. Being able to pick that up early is massive, as Nihus is going to finally win a... Okay, don't worry. He's got Bab Scepter, so he's going to heal back up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that ENCE actually contest this one. And stacking the dragons, pretty good for the side of Riddle.
Looking at an Ocean or Infernal Soul as well, so a nice one if Riddle can pick that up. We'll find out what it is. It's going to be the Ocean Soul here.
That's a really good one for Riddle, in all honesty. There's a lot of champions who benefit from that heavily. This beefy front line all sustaining up incredibly high. And if you think about it, there isn't actually great DPS for burning through tanks. You know, you don't have a traditional AD carry.
I love this from Riddle, making sure as many minions die as possible. Denying Kevo, who's already down pretty heavily in CS. Gold lead massive at the moment. 2,000 gold separates the team. 2,000 gold separates the AD carries. That is a difference. Rift Herald kind of desperation summoned here. Does give a bit of plate gold over to Nili, but it's not going to be enough to actually take a tower. And Nihus should just be able to play a bit more weak side and defend the tower himself.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, well, I talked about it before, the 2 plates. You know, as soon as they took that Herald, they'd already lost 2 plates, they'd already lost a kill. So they had to get more than that to make it a worthwhile trade. They didn't. They didn't get more than that. They got the flat 2 plates. So even off that initial play, ENCE were trading down. And what's happened subsequently has just been really painful. Riddle able to take that first tower, able to snowball a ton of gold onto their Ashe. And they're feeling pretty comfortable right now. 2 dragons in the pocket, and hasn't been too much crazy action in this game, but at this point, I think Riddle can start moving around the map and looking to take objectives. Those towers, a lot of gold that's available.
Yeah, Jack Spectre swapped up into the top lane, got Quickstep with him, even got Chelm in the wings. So feeling very comfortable. This is going to buy some time for Nihus to get some farm, although the wave is awkwardly far away from him. Jack, Essence Reaver finished up. They want to try and just get as many plates onto this Ashe as quick as possible, really. Get as much gold. This tower is going to get cut through fairly quickly. Chelm's actually also making his way over. Hook comes down, but the Ashe Arrow connects. They've got the Grand Entrance. They've got the Railgun. Dodges out on the knock-up as the taunt comes in. Nearly catches him. Gets him with a punch. And Energy finds the kill.
You see the desperation there coming out from Nili, trying to find the target between tank and the tower. Quick stats, but the stopwatch meant he was just baited in. He overextends with the hook shot, and he ends up getting taken down. Great punish coming out from Riddle, and they're looking for a redive.
Yeah, the Predator's on. Energy's just going to go for this. They're using everything. Jack Spectre has been caught out for the moment, so he's going to go low, but the Lantern to safety is simply hunting for something. Forces the flash out. Scatter the Weeks flashed away.
So
Great
sad.
Ashe Arrow. Riddle played that very, very well. And more importantly, the CS lead that separated the 2 top laners has evaporated. Wave's going to get pushed in by Nihus, and he's just going to go back to safety.
Get a little replay off that one. So the initial engage, great CC, and watch, Quickset is tanking the tower, taking damage, and then it's then. He tries to look for Quickset to try and trade a kill. The stopwatch is beautifully timed, and then the redive here, I just love how well they disengage the situation. Quickset is already walking out. Shield and Energy know to get away from the TP, the Lantern there. And it means that when Simply goes in, the flashes are still available. If their flashes had been down at that point, that was a double kill. That was a great trade for ENCE. But the fact they saved so much disengaging there meant they were able to get away. And burning the TP and flash from Simply, a huge achievement on top of that.
Yeah, really big for them. And now Taiki actually looking to pick up his second mark, is going to get it, but Ashe Arrow is going to be the price for him as Energy's coming in with a taunt. Nihus is going to force him to flash the wall, but Seth will lose his life. Chelm able to pick that one up. The volley slows everybody else down. It simply comes in. A 4-man scatter of the week's pretty big as he unleashes the power and finds himself a kill. Now Nili has come in on the flank. Energy is so low. He is going to be able to get out, but Nihus gets a kill onto Nili. A 2-for-1 in favor of Riddle, but the shutdown gifted over to the Syndra.
Bit of a chaotic fight there, but overall didn't go too bad for the side of ENCE. Still not a favorable trade, but definitely could have been a worse situation. What I am concerned about, though, is that dragon spawning up in 45 seconds. If Riddle get this, the pressure is really on for the side of ENCE. There is a flash up and available for Kevo, but everyone else on ENCE is flashless. So that Jarvan and Galio combo that is up and available could be devastating here.
It's quite easy to land as well when you got the Ashe to set you up long range with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which will be available
And
any
Team
second
has
now.
flash as well. So easy gap poser. And it's only really Kevo who's going to be able to get out of that. Taiki can jump out. Nili can hookshot out.
Mark actually getting picked up by Taiki. So Taiki now onto 3 marks on the Kindred, which is nice for him. Hasn't got that 4th, though, which is the kind of big spike we talk about oh so much. Riddle now just doing their best to completely delete the vision. Jack Spectre is going to get rooted up there. They look for the hook. They find it onto Simply. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Everybody just slides in. Nihu's coming forward. Gets himself the stun off as now they're jumping in. The Wombo combo. The Death Bowl. It's thrown down. A railgun into the hook as Chelm finds the knock-up. Kevo going low. Kevo going down. Nihu gets a double kill and Riddle take 4.
I said it would be rough if they got the dragon, but get a shoes team fight like that as well. Really Oh, the hook comes in.
Quickstep gets the long-range lantern. Jack Spectre comes over. Taiki might look for him. Not going to be enough. Finally gets him one last bite from the wolf. A delayed ace from Riddle.
Yeah, a little bit low to be taking that. I feel like maybe Chilm should have been the one to take the lantern there. But either way, they're going to be able to get the dragon in this situation. And that's 5 kills overall in the fight. And I mean, it's just simply overextending, and a beautiful hook coming out from Quickstep there. And then Nihus is buying time, but the combo comes in. As we said, Kevo can flash out. No one else can. The Galio just means certain death. And even though there's a fair bit of damage going in return, it's not enough. Another great hook by Quickstep, but it's Chilm who finds the CC to carry that kill out. Just great execution of Quickstep. I mean, it was talked about on the desk. Quickstep on this Thresh is really something else.
It really, really is. So you're talking to me about, you know, the top lane and how if it stays bad for Nihus, it's going to be rough. But he's now 3-1. Nilly's 1-3. Yep. This good lane has disappeared for Nilly, and Nihus is now looking to be a little bit more unlocked.
Yeah,
on the Jack.
Nihus won't lose again. From now on out for the rest of the game, Nihus wins this matchup.
Yeah, got the Ninja Tabby, got a Phage. Probably building towards a Triforce over a Cleaver.
It's just, I mean, this is one of the things is that typically, you know, the Jax isn't as good in team fights, but in the 1v1 matchup, he really will dominate this. And even Camille's 2-item spike really isn't enough if you play the matchup correctly. And the thing is, in a team fight, it's not even like you need a strong team fight of the side of Riddle. The Galio Jarvan is just hard carrying the matchup.
Taiki actually didn't get that mark at the Krugs. I think he's making his way over, but it's actually already faded away. Now, Nihus looking for the 1v1 versus Nilly. Does have backup with him, and 5 members looking for the shutdown onto Nihus. Nihus, no flash available. It's going to get slowed down, but he's able to ward hop away to safety, and that was a lot invested. And they're going to lose everything for this. Mid lane turret goes down. Chelm gets a Rift Herald as well. It is looking dire for ENCE.
And it was a great read by Nihus there. I mean, I think, you know, if a 1-3 Camille jumps on you as Jax, there's got to be someone else there. And he does manage to back away in his team, applying a lot of pressure in the other lanes. You can see recalls coming in for Taiki and Nilly. And they will be able to defend their tier 2 towers. The Herald still in pocket for Chilm. It's a 5,000 gold lead. 3 minutes until that Ocean Soul is available. It's looking pretty rough for ENCE.
It really is. Now, Hurricane just finished up for Jack Spectre. Look at Kevo's items, though. Essence Reaver and Hurricane into Manamune. It's not even stacked, so he's kind of got like 3/4 of an item at the moment. You look over the mid lane, Protobell almost Azonia's to the Haunting guys on Simply.
As well, there's no Presence of Mind stacks on Kevo. So typically, you know, having Presence of Mind stack gives you that extra AD. So being on 0 means he is really lacking. 167 AD. 167 AD is what Kevo is working with. Not great.
That is.
And he only has 25 souls.
That is unfortunate. Suboptimal.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we have a similar amount of AD on Jack Spectre, but Jack Spectre has crit and attack speed and cooldown reduction, so it's rough. It's rough right now for the side of ENCE, and they have to find a window to this next team fight, because if they lose this dragon, I don't see a way you come back from that.
No, I don't either. 20 minutes on the clock, and you see the gold difference over time ballooning out of control. Like you said, that Ocean Soul coming up soon. Rift Herald in the pocket of Chelm means they can use that to assert dominance wherever they want. There's a massive, massive wave starting to build up for Riddle that's going to push up. So they're going to send Simply over to go deal that. He does have teleport, and there's still got time for him to clear the wave and make his way over. Nihus now got the Sheen building towards his Triforce himself. So he's going to get a little bit of poke out from Nilly, but Chelm's coming in with a collapse. Remember, they've got the wombo combo here. Taiki could find himself in a little bit of hurt. Grand Entrance uses the arrow, goes down.
That's a big win for ENCE.
Yeah. That was
down. I actually think Chil misplayed on the blast cone, went over the wrong wall, and then tried to EQ to catch up. Just a little bit of a mistake there, some bad communication, I feel. And it ends up costing 2 big ultimates for this team fight now. That may not necessarily be enough for ENCE to win this one, but definitely better than them having them.
Well, they're looking for it. Here comes the fight. Already knocked up by the Glacial Fissure, caught inside as the Dawning Shadow is there. Energy just flashes over the wall and comes in with a taunt. Everybody is inside the Lamb's Respite, though, as now Riddle have got the health bar flow on multiple members as Jack Spectra just flashes in. He's going ham, baby! That's 2 for Jack Spectra. And somehow Riddle answer out. ENCE can heal up a little bit, though. Quickstep needs to be careful from Taiki, as this may just be the give up on the Dragon. Taiki's going to start it up. Quickstep also there, but now they're coming forward. Quickstep looking for the hook onto Kevo, not going to find it. Into the shadow. Energy looking for the taunt. Taiki inside the pit as Nilly's made his way forward onto the flank. They're going to look to kill the jungler, able to do so. Nilly now killing Jack Spectra, able to do so. As that, I didn't see who got the Dragon. It was picked up by Riddle. Kevo just flying away on the sidelines here. It's a double kill for the Senna.
That wasn't by Riddle. That was ENCE.
It wasn't Riddle, sorry. Yes, it was ENCE, but I mean, oh my lord,
you got what you
what
wanted, denied it. And great TP coming in from Nile, slightly faster than Nihus just because he didn't die. But this team fight, I've never seen a Lamb's Respite get more value than here and now. You can see so much damage gets thrown in return. The Lamb's Respite comes down pretty early, and there's just so much being thrown in that's completely mitigated by it. Keeps him alive for much longer. That great stun from Simply as well, critical in turning things around. And yes, Jack Spectra does a ton of damage. That's perfect Runan scenario. But they managed to survive. And in this team fight here, Taiki in an unfortunate spot, but just clumped up. Nilly can look to flourish here. Manages to get the Dragon, get a couple of kills, and then get away again. It was by the wire, honestly, that team fight bit. ENCE managed to hold on for now.
Yeah, they did, but is it enough is the question. They bought themselves some time. The Ocean Soul, luckily for them, hasn't been picked up. But you are looking at a pretty solid Ashe still. A very scary Ashe. Looking to build towards the Infinity Edge is the next item. The charge did go down in the mid lane.
Yeah, considering there was a pretty big, like 4,000 plus gold discrepancy, it has closed a bit. There were some shutdowns that came in, so.
Oh, Nilly.
A little bit better.
Oh,
yeah,
Nilly, no. Yeah, you were right. Nihus wins these. Actually, maybe he doesn't. Tries to get out. The scan of the week's not going to be enough. Nihus finds himself one. He's going to get Simply as well. No, Simply uses the Fog of War perfectly. But with that, Riddle are going to convert this into the Baron. It's going to get down pretty quickly. Going to force the teleport out from Simply to join up with the rest of his team. Baron half HP, and it looks like they're looking to turn around. There's the wombo combo. That's what we were looking for earlier. Kevo loses his life, and Riddle can just go back to Baron.
Does reset though, so might be tricky for them to start this one up again. You can see they're not willing.
Quickstep makes a lot of damage. That is going to be enough to force them off, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, you're seeing what the Jacks can now do in the matchup. Even though it's a 2v1, still manages to find the solo kill. And honestly, if Simply had missed some of those abilities, I think he would have got the double there. Hanging on by the skin of their teeth right now, and they do manage to stop the Baron. And they will get a chance to reset.
Now picture that 1v2 again with Death's Dance. That's when I think it's just Nihus is just going to win that no matter what. Turret will go down in the mid lane. That's the tier 2 dead.
See, potentially a pick being looked for by Riddle. Pings are coming out. It seems like they want to go for this one. Kevo is flat, but they look to engage on Chilm.
Yeah, Chilm has nowhere to go. He's got a lantern, but you can't get out of the Hextech ultimatum, mate. Chilm getting caught now. Quickstep also. So we do go into a quick pause.
That is pretty unfortunate. I'm assuming that maybe Chilm had a disconnect or something.
We'll have to find out. I'll get our producer to send us a message and let us know what happened. Yeah, DC.
What I will say is normally during games, you try and avoid pausing in fights unless someone has literally disconnected in the middle of a fight. So there must have been... Okay, we're hearing that it wasn't actually... It was Simply who disconnected, but you only really pause in fights if someone has like disconnected. If you're lagging a bit, that's not really justification. It's unfortunate, but yeah, if someone completely disconnects from the fight, you can understand it. So hopefully we'll get that started back up soon. Obviously, did you see Chilm go down? And Quickstep looks to be in a rough spot as well. If anyone wondering, there was no ultimate available for energy on the Galio, so that's why we didn't see him flying in to save his jungler.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been enough, to be honest. I think he probably just would have died afterwards if he'd followed that one up. But it felt like Riddle were in a lot of control here. And I mean, they still technically are. They've still one away from the soul. There's a massive wave getting shoved in as the pause has ended. So we'll be getting back into this action as Quicksef closing in on getting himself caught out. So as soon as we get back in, I'm going to have to turn my play-by-play on as pause is going to end as they get the Ash Arrow off into the taunt onto Nilly, actually. Justice Punch to follow. Good ultimate comes forward to make sure the jungler doesn't die as Jack Spectre takes a lot of damage. Taiki jumps onto Quicksef. They do get the heal off here as the railgun comes in from downtown. Quicksef will lose his life. Nihus made his way back up to help his team here. No Ash Arrow available. Energy closing in on his own ultimate. Remember, Taiki doesn't have R. So if Nihus can find a good opportunity to jump in and Energy can back him up, maybe they can turn this around.
Is coming.
It's really so close. It's so close.
But they're backing away. They don't think they can do it, and I can kind of understand it. They're skirmishing the lockdown a bit too much. And it looks so dire for them, but they managed to find the engage onto Chilm. Jarvan combo, Lantern, not enough to get him out, and they managed to get the Baron off the back of that. And we can see the engage comes in. So Chilm phase checks into all the CC, and ultimately the ult from Camille, too much for you to get out of this situation. And they follow up. They have the numbers to go aggressive onto Quickset. They have to use the ultimate here from Taiki to keep
Chelm, not
alive.
like this again. Okay, sorry. I know we were in a replay, but Chelm literally just walked into a bush with 4 members of ENCE. Luckily, he was fast on the draw, but Chelm, stop doing this.
Everyone just had a heart attack right there, dude.
Oh my lord. That would have been just absolute doom. Now they do have that wombo combo available. Energy has R. Lamb's Respite's on cooldown, so this is the perfect opportunity for Riddle to take the fight. Energy waiting off in the wings. Nihu's also trying to see if he can find a good flank. Hook goes wide. Steph steps away. Good scatter of the week into the Ash Arrow, into the taunt. They're looking for the big wombo combo. Cataclysm hasn't been fired out yet. His Energy has to go golden. Simply forced away. Getting slowed down by the dragon. Nihu's looking for Taiki. There's the ultimate. There's the follow-up, and Jack Spectre gets the kill. Taiki goes golden, but Chelm continues to chase. Jack Spectre finds himself the shutdown, finds himself a double kill. The dragon almost killing him, but it's not going to be quite close enough. That will be Ocean Soul for Riddle.
And that's exactly what they wanted out of that one. The engage this time comes in from Riddle. Energy finding a ton of damage there with his AoE taunt as well. And the follow-up is critical. Ocean Soul secured, and Riddle, they're feeling confident. 4 members strong. They've sustained up. They're pushing down mid.
Give them the opportunity. They will take a turret quick. They do not need Baron, but ENCE with Baron have the stronger wave, so they can defend out for the moment. Nihus really farming a little bit here as Quicksef is just going to pop the Mikhails to make sure the slow doesn't stick, and he can get out.
Also gets a nice movement speed from it.
That as well.
If you move a CC effect, it gives you that movement speed. So pretty nice in scenarios like that. But they will be able to trade back this mid lane tower. But I mean, Ocean Soul was the prize for Riddle, and they were able to get it. So definitely a win in that team fight. We'll get to break it down one more time. So I think the critical thing is to watch this angle come in from Energy. Goes in, gets a big taunt on the back line, follows up with a knock-up, and just Kevo and Taiki are already so chunked out and simply actually gets split off into the dragon. So simply he's going to die to the dragon here. He's so useless. Taiki gets chased down. Kevo's chunked. They can't have a structured fight here because their backline gets decimated so quickly. And that was the big thing there. Riddle finding really good backline access, and that's critical to them finding the success. We didn't even see the combo between Chilm and Energy. They didn't need it because the Predator from the Galio allowed him to get in himself.
He did end up being able to use the ultimate later on in the fight as well to defend somebody, but ENCE now looking for a flank here. Nihu's making his way forward as here comes Nihus. Forces the flash out. The Ash Arrow goes a little bit wide. Great scatter the weak, though, by Simply. Chunks Jack Spectre and stuns him in his tracks. Energy on a ward, waiting to see if he can find a heroic entrance, but not going to be able to get it. Blue buff is going to be denied, and it's a consolation prize, at least for ENCE here, considering the last few moments of the play. And Jack Spectre's full health. Ocean Soul, baby.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what are they fighting for? Because there's nothing really achieved from that fight. So
mid lane prio, my friend.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can divert towards that, but ENCE could have gone for the mid lane prio themselves. They just decided to lean bot lane. Kind of a scattered fight, but Riddle pushing up.
This actually could be their tower going down. Another Scout of the Week comes out, and Jack Spectre able to dodge away on it. Has got the shields in the Ocean Soul, so he'll be back to full health in pretty much no time. There it is.
You see Riddle feel frustrated because they want to fight in fights. Now they have the Ocean Soul. But there's no reason ENCE actually have to fight them right now. It's a minute 45 on Baron, though. That's the point where Riddle can go, okay, you have to do something about this. As of now, they are kind of content just playing a defensive game. You have the Executioners picked up by Kevo, so a bit of healing reduction there, but there's not really much across the team.
No, there isn't at all. Nilly's not rocking any. Nihu's still pretty long way away from that Death Stance, but Ocean Soul plus Death Stance on this Jax, when you got the Grandmaster's Might propped, he is just going to be immortal. Like, I don't see how you kill him without CC locking him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it really makes things difficult. See Riddle already trying to make as much control possible of the Baron area, the jungle, and I mean, someone's going to have to face check on the side of ENCE eventually if they want to contest this one. The thing is, with the Ocean Soul and with the tanks afforded to Riddle's side, Jack got out.
You're in trouble here. Unleash power into the shield. Ocean Soul healing might be enough for the railgun. Deletes him from the rift. Here comes Energy, trying to see if he can do something to save the day, but he will lose his life in a blast cone to safety. Riddle are just falling victim to Bush time after time as Chelm has to hookshot away. Nihu's also on the run, and it's Quickseth who is just going to lose his life. He's going to sacrifice himself for the team, forcing everyone away. Riddle are not respecting the brush at all. There's actually a really good delay because Baron comes up in 8 seconds and Quickseth's now down for 40. They are looking for Nihu's here as might just be able to get him. Simply flashes away and Taiki finds himself a kill onto Nihu's. The dunk from Chelm is going to be enough to do something, and Baron getting started up. No smite available. Chelm is alive, and Chelm's fairly tanky. He's got Jack Spectre. He's got energy coming up shortly as well.
They can't do this. They can't do Baron.
In. This is very greedy.
I mean, Riddle know they can't do Baron in this situation.
They're teleporting simply in.
It doesn't matter. They know they're not going to finish it because they don't have a jungler, so all Chelm has to do is not die.
Jack Spectre just wants to flash away. That's a big taunt. Chelm's on there. Jack Spectre's unleashed power. ENCE are finding themselves the kills one by one. Chelm has to run away. Riddle, just leave the bushes alone, man.
You don't have to contest that. It was such a slow Baron. You don't have to walk in there, but they try and contest. They lose the jungler, and now this is Baron for the side of ENCE. Ocean Soul seems to be irrelevant, apparently. Camille finding the success in the team fights, and it's just the picks. They're finding picks when they shouldn't. There's a lantern on the side of Riddle, and it seems like they're not playing around it.
They're just not respecting vision at all, and it's costing them dearly this game.
But it's just I love the aggressive play from ENCE. It's them finding the windows to punish, and Elder Dragon spawning, vision controllers in favor of Riddle, but Jack Spectre and Energy are only respawning now, so there's no concern this Elder Dragon's going to disappear before they get there, but this fight could well be the last one of the game. I feel like if a team convincingly wins this, it is over.
It's going to be so important. Riddle, play around the vision. Make sure you keep Simply alive. ENCE, just keep it up. Honestly, just finding these picks on disrespectful positioning from Riddle is going to be important, and actually Riddle just going to be forced away. They're not feeling comfortable stepping in, and this is actually going to be ENCE starting up the dragon. It's already half health. Nihu's the only member of Riddle close enough nearby as Chelm's making his way in. Here comes the Ash Arrow, but that's going to be dragon. It's actually stolen away. Massive play here from Riddle, and they are going to be able to take out everyone. The Lamb's Respite will only do so much. Nilly is going to lose everything as he's jumping away to safety. Riddle with the most clutch of steals. Chelm saving the day.
That should never happen. Not against the Kindred who has his ultimate. That should never, ever happen. But Chelm finds a miracle steal, and with the Elder, they're able to win that team fight. 3 members still up. This is an Elder team pushing up now. Simply's going to do his best to clear the way, but a dive could be devastating here.
Yeah, Nilly's just Counter-striking to put the threat in, and that's going to be the inhibitor tower going down. The inhibitor will be absolutely melted through. Baron will be wearing off in a second on the side of ENCE. So they won't have that for too much longer, but Elder on Riddle means this team are a force to be reckoned with. They're going to go for the bases, going to reset. Expect to see a QSS picked up onto Jack Spectra.
What a game.
I'm lost for words. This looked like the most easy Riddle win ever, and then they started throwing, and then they started winning.
And you know what? Riddle started catching, and then they threw it back. And then ENCE started catching, and now they're holding it.
They are literally
And then
playing
they threw it
catch.
back.
They are playing catch. Question is, who will drop the ball? Will it be ENCE? Will it be Riddle?
It's difficult.
I do still worry that if you're Jack Spectra, Simply will just one-shot you. He's done that a couple of times now.
I feel like it makes it difficult, but realistically, you want Riddle to be playing in a way where Simply doesn't get to breathe. You know, he doesn't have a Zhonya's at the moment, and if Energy, Chilm, and Nihus are diving him, there should be a scenario where he doesn't even get a chance to get near Jack Spectra.
Yeah.
But that's not what's been happening. I think either team has a chance to take it if they play this correctly, but obviously right now, Riddle are in the advantage with Ocean Soul and the Elder Dragon buff on hand. They should by all means win every team fight at this point, so ENCE have to kind of just stall out until the Elder fades away.
Yeah, you got that Death Stance finished up onto Nihus, so he's going to be pretty strong. Got the stopwatch as well. Simply looking for a scatter the weak. It's going to hit it on to 1. Zelda finally wears off from the side of Riddle. We're able to get himself an inhibitor in the mid lane, but not too much more. 2 minutes until the Baron comes up. 3 minutes until the Rift Herald comes up. Has Taiki... I'm assuming Taiki's definitely hit his stacks.
He's definitely top 4. He's on 5.
Yeah, okay. Chell, you have to get this lantern out to safety. Does get stunned as Jack Spectra missed the arrow. Quickstep looking for a hook, and this Winter Spice are a real problem. Nihus actually in for a bit of hurt here. Gomez turning it around. Uses the stopwatch to dodge a lot of damage. Gets shielded up. Here's the turnaround. They got the Cataclysm into the Land's Respite. Jack Spectra has joined the fight, and now he can start to fire out onto these sidelines. ENCE's members are slowly but surely being melted through. Chelm flags and drags into the back as Energy's taking tower shots. He finally goes down and Simply will be able to find the kill. Super minions are pushing into the base though, so Riddle will force ENCE out of their own defense to another inhibitor. This is going to be devastating if they lose an inhibitor here just before Baron spawns up, and Nilly knows that, so he's looking for it. They find themselves the hook. This is just going to be the end of days for Kevo. Nilly's going to lose his life, looking for Chell, but Chell still won't die. Double kill for Jack Spectra as he flashes in forwards. The inhibitor in the bot lane will finally go down. And they still got super minions. They still got a way to work with. The death timers are long, and I don't think they're going to be up in time. Simply the only one standing. Scatters a weak back, but it's not going to be enough. Trying to find a glory kill onto Chelm, but Chelm will not give him the opportunity. Jack Spectra finds a shutdown. The Nexus explodes at 38 minutes. 46 kills on the board. And that is going to be game number 1 to Riddle.
What a team fight at the end. And Nihus getting a 4-man stun with the counter-strike, really just turning things ever so slightly in the favor of Riddle. And that's all they needed. The Ocean Soul healing kicking in as well. Definitely not an easy game. You know, we've seen a lot of game 1 stomps in the NLC full open, and that was not a stomp. That was such a back and forth, but
yeah,
Riddle the ones who pull ahead.
I really thought we were getting a really quick game 1 once again, and then suddenly ENCE were just playing so well. I can see why this series has been hyped up this hard. Now, guys, we're going to throw to a break, and when we're back, I'll have our analyst test to break that game 1 down. See you after this. See you after this break.
What's that strange face staring at me in the mirror, in the mirror? What's this strange change of season? easy. What do I need? It ain't that easy to make it happen. It ain't that easy. Oh man, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. Sunsets, high rise, you know you're on the floor, diamonds, good life, walking the golden door. Everybody knows that you wanted more, more. Ice cold to the touch, we're gonna burn it down, bodies so hot until we hit the ground. Everybody knows that you wanted more, more. Say it's not my fault. I don't wanna talk about it, not tonight. No, you probably think about it, but it's fine. Playing all the same, you know there's no amount. 'Cause money makes the world go round. I don't see a problem till it makes me sick. Dollars by the minutes, I'ma spend it quick. Knows I keep me down, now I'm doing it now. 'Cause money makes the world go round. Sun kissed on my lips, the way I want it now. Don't trip, never slip. They wanna take me down. Talk is never cheap, so you say it loud, loud. Say it's not my fault.
Welcome back to the NLC Full Open, and it is Riddle that take the lead. It was a bit of a banger game, though. Elder Dragon Steel, definitely some comeback potential for ENCE, but it was Riddle that take the first game overall here. Gulborg, I see you with your hands together. I'm going to give you the floor for a moment, please.
It had no right being this damn close, all right? It really did not. Riddle, you have Jax who outperforms the Camille on side lane. Ashe on Jax Spectra on Ashe, however you want it. Really far ahead, and you have the Java and Galio composition who can always help you in the split pushing scenario. And you have the Ocean Drake, Soul. How they took so many fights and just messed it up. So ENCE got buried not once but twice, almost into Elder Drake, was just mind-baffling to me. They need to fix their issues, because if they need to get so far ahead as they were to make it this close, I mean, if they fall behind once, it's just over for them. So they really need to fix this.
That, as Orcs and Hipbrain put it, that was a fine game of catch. It was really just back and forth, and it did not deserve to be like. Riddle really used the early tools that they had superbly. I can't even recall when Taiki got his first mark. Like, he didn't get the first 3 Skull Crabs. He was basically locked out of the river. Wasn't really able to impact any lane. They used the mid lane priority really well from this Galio, and the combos that we saw in every team fight pretty much for the first 20-25 minutes were actually just sublime.
Yeah, I think we have a clip that Gulborg wanted to break down here. So let's have a look at the clip that you wanted to highlight here, Gulborg.
So reason why I chose this is because I want to see it in slow motion again. I need to see how close this was. This is the scenario. Elder Drake is up. Once again, Riddle low on the priority. They have a bit of vision in there, and you can already see Nihu somehow with a pink ward has managed to get some, himself in here without ENCE even knowing this. Already massive blow up for ENCE into this one. This should always be known for them. But going into it, I need to see what happens here. It is solo, and no. Where even is Taiki? Where is Taiki? Because I'm pretty sure that he's a level ahead. No, he's 2 levels ahead, Taiki, and it gets stolen away. I need to see that again. Like, this is just, you're 2 levels ahead as a Kindred. You cannot do this. It's the fact that this goes through. It's mind-baffling to me. And as soon as this Elder Drake is done, finally, Riddle is going to be able to close it out.
Well, it was a wild ride, and that was a clip that really summed up the very peak of the roller coaster. I mean, I think But what I would take away from it is Riddle did use the early tools that they needed to use to be able to get ahead. You know, they did use those and they were able to generate that lead. But Jamada, just something went wrong, like mid-late game. Something just went wrong for them mid-late game. What is it that they need to shore up coming to this next game?
I'm kind of uncertain. It just seemed like away from objectives being up, they just weren't too sure what to do. And ENCE just consistently ended up finding these random picks, sort of. I would almost go as far as saying unwillingly at times. Like it was just Riddle players will walk into ENCE, and it's just like this sort of lemming effect where people just keep on doing it over and over again. So yeah, I think if we can just find out what we're doing whilst objectives are down, I think we're okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, this should also kind of be ENCE meta. Like Kevin was known for his Astro, you know, Simply was known for his global map presence. They could easily have had the comp that we just saw on the Riddle. I want to see them kind of match this. I want to see them be proactive in the early game, because I can't see Taiki be out jungled by a Jarvan again. If that happens, I'm so worried for them.
Okay, we'll leave it on that bombshell. We're going to go to a quick break. When we're back, we'll have that second game of the series coming your way.
paradise.
All right, we're heading into the second pick and ban here between Riddle and ENCE. Riddle 1-0 up right now. ENCE opting for red side following their first loss. Lilia still, I'm almost certain Lilia's got a 100% ban rate. I'm going to have to go and check so far, but I feel like she's been banned almost every game of every series that we've covered on this channel so far.
Yeah, but Taiki also one of the few junglers that actually plays it, so maybe it's granted here. So Kart is a ban we've seen against Absolve as well, but against some of our junglers in the league are just kind of scary on it. Lucian ban comes out, makes sense here. Riddle actually banning the Syndra away from Simply, so that's kind of interesting. So that leaves another ban open. Riddle are going to be the one banning Jax themselves, so Twisted Fate is up and available, and this tells to me that they're looking for that themselves.
TF Camille? Right? There's the first two champions that now spring to mind of those things
There
off
it
the board.
goes.
So TF for Riddle, it just makes a whole bunch of sense. And I wonder now if ENCE are going to feel pressure to have to at least take one of those, well, the other. I have to take Camille in this R1, R2 now, because giving over Camille and Twisted Fate to Riddle would be I would go as far as calling it a blunder.
Yeah, I mean, they banned out the Galio, so maybe Silas on the cards for Simply if that's something that he wants to use to respond to the Twisted Fate with.
The thing is, you can't blind pick Camille either here yourself. There's still too many options up. Nidalee Ashe is actually going to be the takeaway here. Taiki, granted, it has been a Nidalee player as far as I remember in the past, but this does open up the Kindred, the Graves, the Chelm as well. And as you've talked about, Jamada, of course, Camille's still viability here, but I actually don't want to see them pick it here. I'm too afraid they're going to be punished by Nilla if by Renekton, for example. I think that Nilla is a well-known, capable top laner of doing that, but no, they're actually going to do it. So this is very bold, and I expect to see Nilla respond back with a Renekton just to punish this kind of pick. Renekton, Nidalee, one of the dive-heavy top laners we already know about, so I can only expect us to come in through this one.
Yeah, and I think Riddle's final lock-in there also makes a whole bunch of sense. If they're going to play towards top side, lock in a safe AD carry, they know that's going to scale really well. That being said, I think, Gulborg, you bring a brilliant point. I think you just see Nille lock in Renekton more times than not, but thinking about the mid lane pick, I'd imagine is simply that would take that Silas for the Twisted Fate ultimate to just keep up with the globals, and that's the route that ENCE want to take. So I think Riddle now more likely to, I would imagine, try and remove away some champions that can definitely nullify the top side.
Yeah, Renekton, like Gulborg said, may be on the cards for a ban here. If you're ENCE, maybe you're... I mean, what do you even target for ENCE? Junglers, I suppose? Like, there, you know, there isn't... Yeah, so the Graves comes through. So they're going to be starting to take away some junglers. I think Riddle, yes, would get rid of something like the Renekton. They're going to get rid of the Fiora. Maybe a little nod towards Nille here on the top side of the map.
Oh, for sure. Like, you need to pay a lot of respect to this guy. He's the top lane genius as well, and specifically on these carry matchups, it's where he shines. Granted, we didn't see too much of it, but you saw the pressure he had just in the laning phase. Normally, Jax is happy about that matchup, but Nilla made it really tough for Nihu, so they're really just bringing out everything against him. So I can only expect the last one is going to be the Renekton, and it honestly is. Now, we think about the junglers, though, because a lot of carry junglers are out of the way, but we've just seen that Chelm doesn't really mind that. He might go for the same gank-heavy setup again with a J4. Granted, you don't actually have the Galio this time, so that makes me think he's going to go away from that and maybe pivot over to something like a Hecarim.
There is the Hecarim to think about. You have Skarner still, Lee Sin still up and available. There are still quite a few good junglers that you can get your hands on. Skarner's single target lockdown works well with the Camille and the Twisted Fate as well. But we're going to see Volibear locked in for top lane. So it's going to be Volibear versus Camille matchup on the top side of the map here. And we'll see the bot lane. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a really defensive bot lane like Ezreal Rakan. Ezreal Bard, Ezreal Yumi, all of which fine. But Ezreal Rakan is like the safest bot lane you could really ask for. Ezreal Yumi would strike me as a little bit odd. Ezreal Bard is fine as well. Like you've got the because I think Ezreal Yumi you're not going to be able to play super safe with Ezreal Yumi, whereas you can play super safe with Ezreal Rakan and Ezreal Bard. But now we're looking for the jungler here, and like you said, there are still some good jungle picks available. Gulbo.
Do you want to try and guess it, Giovanni? What do you think?
I was going to say, I think this is actually one of the few times where I would be okay with an actual Lee Sin shout here, but I'm expecting this Hecarim to just go straight through to lock in. This is just the last like S tier jungler up, so I'm happy to see it in the hands of Chelman. I mean, support pick is really up to them. I would probably say you want something. Okay, well, I was gonna say dive heavy. I think Pantheon fits that profile quite well. However, I think for us at least, slight PTSD seeing the Pantheon piloted the other day. It really by Absolved it wasn't pretty.
No, it was not. But I mean, certainly ENCE just have a really global composition themselves.
Yeah.
You have Silas, in itself not a global champion, against Twisted Faith. Oh yes, I'm a global champion now. You pair that up with the Pantheon as well, and all of a sudden ENCE is able to play the map and the rotation so much easier now. And this is really where ENCE is at their core. This is like what they want. They love playing the map. They love being skirmish heavy. That's what we've come and known them to do. So this might actually have an advantage for them as well.
All right, so we've got about 10 seconds left. Based on the draft, guys, which of these two teams are you favoring coming into the second game?
Riddle.
Yeah, honestly, Riddle have really impressed me with their draft 2 times over. I think ENCE definitely have some smart responses there with the Pantheon and the Silas to try and match some of that global pressure. But I just feel like Riddle seem to have champions that they're just more comfortable on in general. And after seeing their performance in game 1 and how they used a lot of the lane priority and how they used initiative really well, with champions like this, I'm not convinced that ENCE will necessarily going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Riddle looking pretty good in the second game. Going to hand it over to Orcs and Hitbrain for our 5th game of the night.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel. Hello and welcome back to the Caster Desk as we are getting ready to go into game number 2. Now, there has been a trend here over the last 4 days where every game has been very stompy for game 1, and then game 2's been the other way around, and then game 3. That's pretty much the trend we've stuck to mostly. That last game was not that case. That was a close, kind of really tight game for the entirety of the 40 minutes it went on for. I hope we get another one that tight. I really do, because this has been such a fun series to watch. I'd argue Riddle versus ENCE has probably been the most fun series we've had in the first 4 days.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, it's only been 1 game so far, but
yeah, okay, maybe I'm calling it a little early.
We'll see how this one goes. Might see ENCE actually capitalizing on the early invade power. Pantheon still good number 1.
Oh no, Jack. He has to level E to get out of that one. Didn't flash at least, but
wait, what are those items from Jack Spectre?
Oh. Wait, what?
He's got the cloth armor.
Cloth 4.
Cloth 4 E-Star Ezreal.
Well, Jack Spectre is going to have a really rough lane up until about level 3 now.
I mean, it gives him a lot of armor into this lane where Ashe and Pantheon are doing quite a bit of AD. It gives him survivability. And essentially, the goal of Jack Spectre is not to win lane. The goal of Jack Spectre is to survive so quick so that can win other lanes. So, a very defensive build there.
I think we've got Jamada sending us messages saying he's playing for Tabbies, guys. It's fine. Riddle
Tabbies are a broken item.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Riddle going for an invaders. Nilly may find himself caught out here. The hook shot's available. Nilly going to get locked down pretty heavily here. As they get himself a nice trade-off. There's going to be a trade out of the red buffs as Taiki goes for his own invade. And Nilly chunked out pretty heavily. Actually does mean that Nihu's be feeling pretty comfortable in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Camille, we're talking about the Camille Jax, how Jax eventually outskills. Volibear will get decimated by Camille later in the game.
Oh, no. Okay. They do a bit back to Kevo. They do obviously have the shrines to heal quick step up as well. Yeah. But level 1 is going to be rough. They don't have any poke with a Q. It's all about eating away from Seth as he walks forward.
Yeah. You can auto attack him with his 60 AD.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
There it is. That's why
he has his E, so he doesn't get jumped on. Gets to dash away. Broken.
Wait.
Well, what a power play.
Taiki could just come in and land a spear. Like, he's not going to go for a dive, but could just go for a spear. We'll see. Anyway, for now, bot lane is rough for Jack Spectre and Quickseth. Not like we saw in the last game. Nilly does still have the flash, and it's been a full red side clear for both of the junglers. They are just going to split the map in half. And actually, this really favors ENCE. The fact that Taiki can just control this part of the map is really rough for them. They are looking for the level 1 dive. They are looking for the stun. The teleport's coming out, and Jack Spectre has to flash away to safety, but first blood has been picked up already. As actually an interrupt comes in from Nilly, and Nihu's now going to see if he gets some damage off onto the Nilly. Trying to get that last auto attack. Can't make it stick. So flash for flash wasted, but the teleport also burnt. This is not the start Riddle needed.
Jack Spectra's still level 1.
Oh.
He still doesn't have his Q. I mean, it's a great dive, honestly. Credit to ENCE. That is exactly what you want to do. You know you have the power level 1, and Pantheon brilliant at these early dives. Riddle did what they could. You can see Quickstep actually body blocked the Nidalee Spear to try and deny the damage from Jack Spectra, but it wasn't enough.
I genuinely want to see Quickstep leave. Leave lane. Jack Spectra is 2 levels down. Well, he's now just hit 2, but actually just give him a little bit of solo lane. I mean just for the wave.
Yeah.
For the wave. Yeah. Just let him get some experience because he is struggling.
Shove it in because they needed to crash the wave ASAP.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to give him a reset. He's going to buy the components for the Tear of the Goddess. Hasn't actually got it himself. As they take a magical journey back towards the laners. Now Seth is looking for energy. Energy, you haven't got cleanse, mate. Flash is underneath the tower. The chain lash is going to go wide. Steph is being a real nuisance.
Power of the Pantheon. So a lot of people see this champion as broken just because the point and click's done. The burst damage early, really hard to play against. And ENCE are applying a lot of pressure now. You know, we were talking a little bit on the desk about the Renekton Nidalee combo and the fact that you have the point and click stun. Pantheon Nidalee, very similar mechanic in that sense. And the thing is, because Seth is a support, he can just go where he pleases. He doesn't have to go to a lane to pick up farm. And you're seeing that so far.
Well, 7 seconds until this Drake spawns up. We'll see whether or not ENCE are going to go for it. I mean, they got the priority to do so. Kevo 2 levels up on Jack Spectra. Double longsword as well. So Jack's just doing his best to farm up something here. He's down 15 CS at 5 minutes. And look at that. Look at the map, Taiki. Maybe seeing if he can make something happen down here. Will be spotted out by that ward. Teleports are coming through preemptively, and this is going to be the end of days for Jack Spectra. The leap, the bound, the shutdown is there. Kevo taking quite a lot of tower shots. He's going somewhat low here as in comes Chelm.
And they can redive.
That was a little rough there. He's going to try and catch the wave. See if he can do something. They got the rest of the team. Energy's making his way over, seeing if he can get the turnaround. And this is just a complete catastrophe from Riddle in game number 2.
This is domination, honestly. Killing Jack Spectra again. I was about to say, you know, you said he had a 15 CS deficit. I was like, well, this wave's crashing in. You'll be able to pick some up here. And disagree entirely. That's a 1.1k gold lead just in between the 80 carries at 6 minutes.
Oh. Just a little bit of disrespect, really. I mean, obviously they didn't expect to get 4-man Dove at level 3, but
well, it's a combination of things.
Chelm is quite happy to split the map, and he's not respecting what this means for his bot lane, who are falling so far behind. Nihu's going for a trade versus Nilly, and actually starting to lose out on this one. This is going to have to hook shot away to safety. Volibear starting to stack up real hard.
The thing is, if Riddle were actually ready for the invade, they could have countered it because they have Bard stun and TF stun card, which are actually really powerful tools at level 1. So they actually would have been able to defend against the invade. So not doing that, Jack Spectra kind of just running up and getting jumped on, and having a level E was a big hit. And then just the plays from ENCE with the map that have been really powerful.
Oh, they're destinying. They're looking for Nilly here. He just Stormbringers caught out by the Hextech ultimatum. Looking to turn this around a little bit as the Hextech runs off. Chelm was not on the same page as the rest of his team. He just left the lane.
Yeah, not sure what Chelm was doing at all there. I mean, everyone else went for the play, and he kind of just was doing his own thing, minding his own business. Backfired pretty heavily, and, you know, Riddle finally make a proactive play, and it ends up backfiring.
Diffie in the jiffy, my dude.
Oh, look. Hey, can you predict what's going to happen?
I think Taiki might go bot lane.
Well,
because
Riddle's
once
learned that
again,
lesson.
Chelm is doing nothing but split the map. They're not getting anything topside. There's, what, like a wave difference between Nilly and the Nihus. Meanwhile, bot lane is bleeding.
Look at the items. In the...
It's actually just painful.
Jack Spectra's level 3 and Kevo's level 6.
Simply's going to get gold carded. Chelm will knock him back as he goes for the chains. Simply has that destiny if needs be. They finally look for the heal. They finally get the kill, but Taiki just looking for more. Energy gets the gold card off. Has got Jack Spectra. Can they find the shutdown? Can they find the turnaround? Yes, they can. Energy gets the shutdown, but bot lane is still a problem. They're getting plates down there.
Yeah, big plays coming out, though, and this is exactly what Riddle needed. He needed to find an advantage somewhere else other than bot. Ezreal is super useless right now, so being able to find a skirmish in mid pretty nice.
Yes, but look at bot lane. Look at the plates. Kevo's getting first turret blood, pretty much entirely solo plates. If we do a nice little toggle between the gold and the AD carries, I'm sure you'll see something really disgusting. Yes, 1,900. Oh, no, Jack Spectra has to flash away. As the chains connect, the Ash Arrow comes forward.
Doesn't even need it.
Doesn't need it at all.
It's just bullying. I mean, the goal difference is 2,600 between 80 carries now. It's got over double. I mean, look at this Ezreal. Look at these items. Kevo hasn't even recalled. Wait till Kevo recalls and buys, and then it'll be
this
like
is
an
so
S3
painful.
plus boots. I don't know.
This is actually so bait.
You have to
Slash FF? Yes,
don't
that's what you have to do here.
Don't empathize, Jake. If you empathize, it really hurts. If you look at it from an outside perspective,
I'm literally putting myself in Riddle's shoes, and I'm
don't do it.
Ouch! It hurts.
Put yourself in Kevo's shoes and think how great.
I feel great. I feel
yeah,
so
this is
good
amazing.
right
Oh god.
I don't even know if this is fun for Kevo. This is like bringing
Hey,
a
a win is
master
a win.
player into a silver game and going, yeah, I'm winning.
In fairness, ENCE really punished Jack Spectra, and there's only so much you can do. They didn't prepare. There was a plan from ENCE. Riddle went ready for it, and he's been punished. But can we just quickly jump to Jack Spectra, because I want to see, is he still on like 60 base AD? 73 AD. Look at his look at him trying to CS.
Oh my lord. That was 6 auto attacks to kill. That was 6 auto attacks to kill a caster minion.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Hey, at least he's getting some farm now.
Yeah,
and in the meantime, ENCE are getting heralds. They're getting more
plates.
towers. Yeah. Well,
it's 15 minutes you can FF at, right?
never FF. In fairness,
Never FF. No. You're right.
Spectre's got a ton of XP, right? He's now level 6. He was 3 levels down. He's now 1 level down. He's still very far behind in terms of gold and items, but you know.
And okay, we've had fun. But what are Riddle's conditions here? Outside of picks, is there another avenue to them? Do they have scaling? What do they have?
I mean, Nihu's just hard win side lane later in the game. The Camille is so strong. Their 1-3-1's really powerful. And they're really good at finding picks. So it's not like their composition's bad. It's just that AD carry is hard useless at the moment.
Yeah.
Which, it's rough because being an Ezreal, your spike is going to come at a point where you're still so far behind. And then after that, Ashe is going to be stronger. So it's rough, but realistically, you just don't really have to play for the Ezreal. Ezreal's just to try and farm when he can. And the Camille eventually should just hard win side lane. And you can use things like energy to go down and assist. But the problem is you have to stop the snowball because ENCE are just taking all the towers and all the plates.
Yeah, they look like they're going to look
11.
for more here.
11 plates so far, and Kevo has had a share of all of them.
And they still have 2 minutes left to get more plates if they want. I mean, the only place they can get are mid, but...
I mean, they still have Herald, right, don't they? Or did they use it top?
No, they still have Herald. Oh,
yeah.
my lord.
So, you know, that's 2 in the bag right there. Don't have to do much work to get that. And then it's just 2 more, and that's whole 15. You can see that actually Nilly's moved up. They are looking to make a very active play on this. Remember, he can stop the tower from doing anything.
Quickstep does have the Tempered Fate.
Actually, that's critical, because that will stop the Herald.
Yeah, that will stop the Herald. And actually, they're looking for the play here. Tempered Fate onto Seth. Not going to find anybody, and that is enough, as Gold Card will stun him up as the True Shot Barrage. I mean, it wouldn't have done anything anyway, but it still missed.
Base damage is still decent. But that's Jack Spectra's contribution.
And
now Herald's come down. Critically, Tempered Fate used here.
Simply stole it away as well. He has his own Tempered Fate to work with.
Yeah, don't use it on the turret.
Yeah, that would...
That's a 15-play game.
Wow.
A lot of gold. 6,000 gold lead at 12 minutes 45.
What was the name of that shooter? You know, one of the really early ones. You're on Mars.
Doom.
Yeah. I think that's what Riddle are feeling right now.
Never give up.
Never give up. Never give up. Remember how close game number 1 was as well. ENCE did a good job to pull themselves back from a really, really rough deficit. and make that game look winnable. Game number 2, they've come out firing. They are not dissuaded by game number 1.
I mean, I just love that they had an early game plan and they just execute it to a T. And
Yes.
full commitment. Pantheon pick really paying off for Seth here, and the strategy around it really strong. Like I said, we haven't seen many level 1 strategies so far in the tournament. A lot of Braum picks where they just don't go for an invade. This is what you can do if you have a plan, if you're able to execute, and it's really delivering so far.
Yeah.
And Spectre still yet to finish an IM at this point.
It's rough for Jack Spectre, but I also want to kind of give a big props out to Nilly. Even though he's 0-0-0, up in CS over Nihus. And remember, he was the one who was quote-unquote playing weak side. The jungle was split down the center, so top side of the map was entirely Riddle. Yet Nilly was able to hold out versus Nihus, get himself a CS lead, and just play weak side so effectively.
In fairness, I think the reason Nilly has a CS lead is because Jack Spectre froze bot lane, and then it meant there was nowhere for Nihus to be able to farm, so he was kind of locked out of farm for a bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sacrificing your CS so that your AD carry can catch up. But yeah, I mean, Nilly's done a fine job here. I'd actually like to look at the individual gold, because with all the plates, I feel like everyone's going to be pretty far ahead.
Oh my lord.
Other than mid lane.
Oh my lord.
TF gets extra gold from his passive, but other than mid lane, everyone is miles ahead.
Tempered Fate is going to connect onto a couple of members, but here comes the stun to follow. Kevo just cleanses it. He's going to get out scot-free. ENCE forcing the Tempered Fate out, and do lose a summoner spell. That's the one thing they can work away with. We are looking towards a Cloud Soul in this game. Actually quite nice when you've got the Ash. Means you can throw that Enchanted Crystal Arrow a little bit more, and also then use it to kite and reposition within a fight.
I like that. I like the fact that Riddle are looking for these plays. So they're trying to be proactive. They're trying to make something happen. They're not just kind of sitting back and chilling. Because I think you do need to find those windows when ENCE are over greedy and overstep. And again, Jack Spectre is looking to freeze, pick up some farm. 105 AD now, 107, so, you know, a bit more significant.
Our first item should come through fairly soon.
Oh, I mean, Kevo's 2 already.
Oh, my lord. I remember the Manamine is nice, but it does need to stack before it becomes, like, really nice. It does have a presence of mind stack as well, at least, from that assist. So, yeah, something for Jack Spectre.
Better than not having a stack.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how we always find the silver lining.
We have to. It's our job. I would argue it is a very thin silver lining. As a second Rift Herald may be getting started up here by ENCE. We haven't even seen Seth use the Grand Starfall yet. Just doesn't really need to fire it off. Pace has slowed down a fair bit, but it's kind of just ENCE taking what they want. And you can see how the vision line is really pushed up. So, like, ENCE are getting extra quadrants of the jungle, taking more camps, and able to take the Herald. And there's no way that Riddle can really contest. The vision control, like, there's a lot of vision for ENCE, but they're not sweeping too vigilantly. It's just that Riddle, like, you know, there's a couple of walls being placed down. Riddle just really aren't able to go any deeper. And ENCE don't really care at this point. It's kind of like, you know, a couple of shallow wards don't do much for you. ENCE are just completely in control. You can see Destiny available for Simple if he wants to make a play on that. But right now, they'll just continue to get the increased farm the extra jungle quadrants gives over to them. You can see they're potentially looking bot, but plans on Jack Spectre means he's not a great target to look for. No, not at all. Waves are going to get shoved in, and Jack Spectre just looking to farm. To be fair, it's not really worth killing him. Probably not worth all that much gold at the moment, as Destiny is going to get used by Simply just to spot out where all the members of Riddle are. Chen will eat that spear, but he'll back up. And I think the smart move here, probably just give up this dragon. Let's try and farm up. Let's try and get some items onto your AD carry, and maybe see if the Hecarim can also make use of some of his power. Level 10 at the moment, closing on a level 11, so the Onslaught of Shadows will be coming up somewhat soon.
They can dive this. Remember, the tower can be deactivated by the Volibear. Nihus has to respect this. And there's more members coming down.
Oh, Nihus, be careful, friend. ENCE playing that very smart. Not going too aggressive. They just force Nihu's off, and they are going to be able to pick up their 4th turret of the game in the bot lane. It's just flawless from ENCE. Really, really flawless stuff. They executed on a great early win condition. Haven't let it get to the head. Haven't got too cocky, and just honestly played the last 18 minutes incredibly smart.
It's just not overreaching. They don't feel scared. They don't feel like they're forced into trying too hard. They just pick up the dragons, pick up the jungle camps, pick up the towers when they can. Mid tower pretty low as well. And Jack Spectre's been farming pretty well to catch up, but the problem is him just being a non-factor for the past 15 minutes has meant that although he's been able to farm, his team has been suffering 4v5. So I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I'm not saying he's been selfish or something. It's just what you have to do in this scenario. But his team are really hurting as a result.
Yeah, they really are. And it's like you said, it's fairly slow, but it's smart slow. It's controlled slow. And it feels like they're taking their foot off the gas, but they actually haven't. They're just choking Riddle out. As Chelby's looking for Taiki here. Waiting to see if he can steal away this red buff, maybe. Not going to be able to do so, and he's just going to have to blast going away to safety.
What I will say is that we had a 6k gold lead at 12 minutes. We're now at 20 minutes, and we still have a 6k gold lead. That is a lot less impactful. You know, if the game continues on at this rate, eventually it'll get to the point where we'll see Riddle feel a bit more confident to fight. If the gold lead remains the same, the problem is we have Baron now on the cards, we have Dragon Scorpioness and an Engage coming in.
Tempered Fate, they're going in for the Destiny. The fear comes down. It's a red card onto Kevo as he's forced back. Going low, but the heal's going to be there. Shut down in the AD carry as Energy's got that gold card onto Nilly. That's Nihu's finding another one. All of a sudden, Jack Spectre and Riddle just come alive. 2 kills to Riddle.
Good pick there from the Bard. Quickstep delivering, but unfortunately they won't be able to get anything off the back of that. Chium going down means Baron not a possibility with Taiki still up and available, but definitely a needed pick. Some nice shutdowns. Jack Spectre's got a kill on the board.
I think most crucially, Jack Spectre got some shutdown gold. That means the Iceborne Gauntlet should be coming forward and almost matching in items at this point. Down in gold massively, but matching in items as the Rift Arrow will get summoned up here. Bases will continue through, and they are going to get a big chunk onto this tower, but unless they use that time effectively, use that chunk effectively, this tower will slowly heal back up. It's fairly early in the game.
Honestly, things could be a lot worse for Riddle right now. Again, they've managed to sort of keep the gold lead at kind of constant, and that's only going to favor you as you go late in the game. So 2.5 minutes on this dragon. And as you said, the right decision was to let that 3rd dragon go. And they're just going to see if they can fight this 4th one. Actually, Jack Spectre got a lot of XP as well from that fight. He's now equal in levels to Kevo.
Iceborne Gauntlet, Manamine, stacking it up. I'd like to have a quick check on actually how far along he is in that Manamine. That'd be really nice. Okay, he's getting there. He's a bit of a ways away. You'd like to have it a lot closer or finished by now, but
He should have it by the time the dragon comes up.
yeah,
Just about.
just about. So there is a silver lining. The spikes have come through for the Ezreal. Managed to get himself back in the game, and actually smart play by Riddle. You know, they've had a very rough start to this game, but they have found a few opportunities. They have found a few moments to keep themselves in this. As Seth actually stepping up. The Destiny's been used as they flash forward for the Iceborne Gauntlet. Taiki gonna get jumped onto. The Hextech Ultimatum to keep him in place as everybody follows through. Taiki loses his life, and Riddle find another pick. Beautifully executed as Steph actually will eat a Tempered Fate. Slow comes in from Nilly. They also get the Iceborne Gauntlet follow-up as Simply looks for the Chain Lash slow. 4 versus 5. ENCE, they're ahead, but they're not that far ahead.
I mean, it's just great picks coming out from Riddle. They find a member isolated, they get the pick, they get the kill. Smart play, but still a bit too early. We have a minute till Power Dragon. Taiki will have respawned.
Most of the ults should be back up as well for the Dragon for Riddle as well. So the cost definitely outweighs the risk there.
Destiny won't be, I don't think.
Yeah, Quickstep won't be, Nihu, and Destiny won't be. Yeah, I think you're right on energy and Quickstep, but they'll have the Hextech Ultimatum, they'll have the True Shot, and they still have the charge.
Kev are going to pick up that Scuttle Crab. And I mean, this is the thing, is that there've been some nice picks, but the gold lead is still just under 6,000. ENCE are still stronger in a full 5v5, but the thing is, Riddle haven't been taking full 5v5s. They've been taking these picks, these skirmishes. So ENCE need to set up correctly for this, and then they should have a good chance. Just taking the dragon's the important thing here. It's that permanent buff.
Simply looking for Chelm here. Arrow's going to come out, and that's actually the arrow down. So big win there as Simply gets jumped onto. Jack gets a nice trade-off. A bit of damage, bit of chunk. Energy dodging out on the spear as well is pretty nice for them. As Simply has stolen away the Onslaught of Shadows. That's going to be very effective for him. Meanwhile, Dragon gets started up, and here comes Energy. Here comes Chelm. They're looking to force them away from this Dragon. Remember, this Kai'Fake does attack fairly quickly, so damage will stack up as Poke is going to come down. Here's the Destiny being used by Riddle. Are they going to get in time? Here's the flank. Energy onto Kevo. Forces the cleanse out. Simply goes golden. Dragon still started up as the Tempered Fate lands onto a couple of members. Jack Spectre trying to jump away from Nilly. Energy coming in on the flank. Struggle has been concerned. It's been picked up already as Nilly takes that one. This is just an ENCE whitewash. Riddle losing members everywhere. Quicksef, only one standing, and he will get taken down. Taiki will leap in and secure the ace. ENCE. There was a few questionable picks, so they started to feel like it was getting a little rough. But they do come back, get the ace, and they will get the Baron along with the Soul.
I mean, it's one of those scenarios where the picks were going well for Riddle, but the 5v5, the gold lead starts to show. ENCE able to get the Cloud Soul and able to get the Baron as well. Riddle did a great job of mitigating that difference, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the gold lead. And we're going to replay. So we see the initial engage coming out from Energy. He puts some pressure onto Kevo, then backs away. But in the back line, watch what Nilly does here. He's just unkillable. He shoots. They don't have the damage to cut through him. And he buys so much time. And Kevo makes a great decision to kite forward to join his team once again. And although he gets jumped on by Nihus, it's just not enough. Not enough to take him out. Energy ends up not being able to rejoin the fight in time. So some tricky situations opened up for the members of ENCE, but they navigated it extremely well there.
Yeah, they really did. Jack's trying to just farm up as much as possible. He's got 2 items. The Manamine is fully stacked up.
What? Are you seeing that gold graph?
Yeah, I think the gold graph's wrong.
I think that's bugged a bit.
Just a little. I think
Like
maybe
a
it's
big
gone
gold lead
so
in
high up, but it's actually gone back down.
Yeah, it's gone over the top of the graph. Currently at a 10,000 gold lead, Baron in hand, Cloud Soul in pocket for their extra movement speed. And they are feeling pretty comfortable to apply this pressure. Kev are going to move down bot. And again, Riddle need a pick, but right now, ENCE, staying relatively grouped. You can see Simply is isolated, but does have a Zhonya's and a stopwatch. Take a look at the inventories. Stopwatch on Nilly, Simply, and Kevo. Simply has that Zhonya's as well. So if they do try and go onto the Stylus, he'll buy so much time.
Our inhibitor is going to fall there to ENCE. The 26 minutes on the clock, and it looks like ENCE are just looking to close. They got Soul, they got Baron. Don't really need too much more. Jack Spectre still down 2 levels. As Simply still has the Onslaught of Shadows. It's going to have to be one hell of a fight from Riddle to defend this one. And it looks like ENCE aren't even going to present them with the opportunity. They're going to make their way back towards the top lane and do this by the book. Every tower, every structure will fall.
No reason to play it fast. I'm feeling confident. You have a sizable goal lead. And again, so many stasis effects that it's very hard for Riddle to find an opportunity to engage. Just take things one at a time. You can see Riddle now moving over. They know if they lose their last inhibitor, it's almost doomed. Almost definitely doomed. They will thin the wave out. ENCE playing respectfully once again.
I think that is the key word for this game, respect. ENCE have played smart, but also respectful. The aggression has always been calculated, always been tempered, and Riddle just haven't had an answer in this game. Tower's going low, but they have to worry about these super minions now starting to crash in to the mid and the bot side of the map. Baron buff is now worn off at least, so the siege is somewhat easier to deal with.
They stalled out, you know, but it's still 10,000 gold lead. When resets start coming in, you'll see ENCE able to spend the gold that they picked up there. Not going to overpush without the Baron. 2 minutes until that Elder, 2.5 till the Baron. Riddle they have to find a way to be able to win a team fight, because the problem is the picks work. The picks work well, but unless you're getting a pick just before the objective, it's not that consequential. It's not doing enough to thin out the gold lead. And it's now 10,000. Such a massive amount, and you can see it reflected in the items.
You got the Essence Reaver, the Infinity Edge, the Hurricane, and the last Whisper onto Kevo into Bill's Water Cutlass, Iceborne Gauntlet, and Muramana. There is an XE picked up onto Jack Spectre to deal with some of the healing from Simply and Nilly as well.
Taiki too.
Taiki too. A lot of healing. Two-Shot Barrage to thin the wave a little bit from Jack Spectre. Supers are a little bit of a ways away. So Riddle going to do their best, but there's the Tempered Fate. Forces the flash out from Kevo. The stun connects, and that is going to be the end of the Bard. Underneath the tower, Nilly goes, and Jack Spectre's trying to put some damage down. The charge is available to Chelmus. He's buying time on the backline, but not enough time at all. Nilly will lose his life as Jack Spectre jumps in. He's getting launched onto, and Jack's actually first finds himself a shutdown. Seth maybe next to go down as he gets caught out for the moment. Spear does connect as they go up to Kevo, and all of a sudden, Riddle are finding themselves a couple of kills here and there. Kevo and Taiki, though, doing too much damage to work with, too much damage to deal with. Riddle actually trade evenly with ENCE. And now they have to deal with the wave.
It was an overreach from ENCE, in all honesty. You know, the engage came in. ENCE actually found windows to turn it around, because critically, Taiki was caught out, but he Zhonya's after the stasis ended from the Bard. So it messed the timing up so much for Riddle. But in the end, the result of it was they tried to re-engage into the tower, and that gave Riddle the advantage to trade evenly. It was a good fight for Riddle, but the problem is, again, it's a bit too early.
Oh, quick death. That is not the position you need. Flash used as Taiki jumps in and secures the kill. Teleports are coming down. Chelm trying to see if he can get in, but this is going to be Nilly joining up Simply as well.
I mean,
Quick
that's the
death.
problem.
Really, really poor position there.
You make a good trade in terms of members of your team, but it's way too early before the dragon. You're dealing with the super minions. They're just going to take the Elder Dragon. It was a good fight for Riddle, but it doesn't have an impact on the game. And now with the Elder Dragon, ENCE can just head straight to the Baron. We'll see a replay of that fight. So the ult comes in, and they target Quickstep. Watch Taiki. You actually see the miss time on the stun for both him and Nihus just because of the double stasis. Now, at this point, they could back away and just deal with Cheelm, but instead, Nilly goes over aggressive. And then we also see Simply go aggressive, and we also see the Pantheon diving. And all these people unnecessarily tower diving when ENCE could have taken a favorable fight, getting a bit greedy. And although they do manage to make it even on the back end, the healing from Taiki keeping Kevo alive, it's just a bit over aggressive.
Yeah. Now, during that replay, ENCE took Elder. They took the Baron as well. There is 3 turrets, 1 inhibitor standing left in this game.
12k gold.
Riddle are going to have to find another misplay to be able to pull this one back.
They should never lose this fight.
Going to have to be a massive misplay. Kevo does get locked down momentarily. Quickstep looking for the stun. The charge is going to go down, and in comes Nihus. They've got themselves the Destiny. The Hextech Ultimatum onto Kevo. Kevo's going to go low, but he's getting the executes off. He's getting the damage. He's found himself a double kill already as Quickstep's being run down. That's nearly getting another one. Jack Spectre loses his life. The ace is here for ENCE, and we are going to game number 3, the 25th game of this week. ENCE take the win.
That was our game 1, the dominating performance, coming in a little bit late for game 2. An absolute stomp. You know, we've seen a lot of stomps so far over this week, and that was very decidedly one of those. Great level 1 plan coming out from the start events. Good execution, patience for the most part. Again, there was a little blip, couple of picks that went in favor of Riddle, but it felt really hard for them actually just to beat them in the 5v5 with that gold lead.
I want to ask you a quick question before we go to the break. Do you think that if Jack Spectre had died at level 1 instead of leveling E, that lane would have been slightly different because he would have had Q? Or do you think that didn't make the difference? That's something that was kind of bearing on my head a little bit during that.
it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have made the difference. It would have maybe been slightly better, but the problem was the invade meant that it was a map split. And I think even if Jack Spectre had Q, you're not going to find priority against that lane, against the Pantheon and the Ashe. And if you're not finding priority, the waves against you eventually going to crash. You're eventually going to get dived. The problem was the map split. The big thing they had to do was they had to stack level 1. They had to be ready for the bot side invade, and they had to defend it. Yeah. Jack Spectre having QE, again, it's rough, but I still think it goes similarly.
It was a really, really well executed game by ENCE. They read that map. They read that bot lane so well. And with that, we're going to game 3 of this series. Last game of the week. We're afraid of the break. We'll see you after this.
Ready for
So we're going to a full 6 games tonight. It is ENCE that bring it back in pretty dominating fashion as well. Honestly, we said, I remember specifically, I'm going to quote us, safe bot lane. ENCE really did not make that bot lane very safe whatsoever. There was some level 1 tower dives. There was 3-level discrepancy between Jack Spectra and Kavo. It was a pretty filthy bot lane if you were the Ezreal, unfortunately. And that, I think, was the crux of why they never really were able to get into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was just... I don't know what to make out of the early game because it was so one-sided. I think you need to compliment ENCE on the kind of play, because when they finally have the ball, they are really good at just not throwing it away, albeit that they do get caught every now and then. But I think that's more on the part of Riddle, how good they actually are finding people in the need. But the way that they're taking over the map slowly, starving you out of your jungle camps, just taking one tower from one tower, even getting all 15 plates from just one AD carry who's ahead, getting all the Drakes in the early game. Some people might say that, oh, they didn't go do too much in the early game. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to play for objective if you're already taking it with no contest and all. So you can't just go up and take the inhibitors, because it's really easy for the enemy team to come back if you give them 90 gold a wave and you can't end yet because you don't have Baron buff. So it's just, it gave Riddle these windows that they did utilize, but in the end, let's be honest, this was just so ENCE favored.
Yeah, it's just one of those scenarios where you get so far ahead that it genuinely does give Riddle an opportunity to like at least take farm safely occasionally. But yeah, I mean, I've not seen a champion be 2 items up on their counterpart in a competitive match before. Like,
it was.
I don't think you could call this match competitive, so it's okay.
Oh, Gilborg.
Well,
yeah. I think we're gonna let Gilborg go into the drawing board off the back of that one, mate. The flame that he's got coming out. I hope his drawing is half as hot as his words. Let's have a look at the fight that you're going to bring down for Gilborg.
Let's set the picture for you guys. What we're witnessing right now is actually the soul we're fighting for right now, and obviously ENCE is so far ahead. What Riddle have made work so far is getting picks every now and then, but in no way whatsoever are they able to actually team fight here. What I would have preferred, it was that Riddle just say, okay, you know what, we'll give them the Cloud Soul. We'll actually just give it, because it won't matter in the end. Go take the jungle camps if you can. Go take your own jungle camps while you can, and just get something on the map. Because as soon as you lose this fight, and trust me, you will lose this fight when you're 5v5 and you're so far behind. Let's just take a look at the way it's playing out. I think Orcs highlighted it pretty well, how Nil zones away the backline, and Kevo just turns on to the people coming from his side of the map. So as you can see here, it's actually going to be a split. As soon as the Tempered Fate come down, Nil casually 1v3ing up there, the rest of them killing Nihus and then going straight for energy afterwards. And as I said, it wasn't competitive. They just got obliterated. It was literally just steamed hams right there.
Why did it take me a second to just trigger that? Because no one's going to get that reference. But I would recommend going, and if you go to Orcs' Twitter, I'm sure he'll link you a wonderful video that you should all go and enjoy off the back of that. Jamada, last game, going into Champion Select after this one, what do you think both teams need to do, given the win conditions that we've seen them activate at the first 2 games? What do you think both teams need to do to give themselves the best platform for success in this final game?
I mean, ENCE seemed really comfortable with that super early game comp we just saw right there. So maybe if they want to run it back, something similar like that. I guess it's going to depend on what side they end up with, because obviously they're not going to be choosing what side they're on this time around. And if you're Riddle, I mean, honestly, I feel like they had a composition champion-wise that they were comfortable piloting, but you have a disastrous early game like that, and it almost becomes a, what do we even do to come back into the game? And yes, ENCE handed them a few opportunities, but that was just because you don't often get a map state that wide open with that large of a gold lead 15-20 minutes into the game. So you can be uncomfortable with that kind of lead. So, I mean, honestly, for Riddle, I would almost be lost. It's kind of a weird position to be in after playing a game like that, to be honest with you.
Get rid of Pantheon.
Get rid of Pantheon.
I think, I mean, me and Javat, I know we gotta round it up, but I think me and Javat learned a lesson that Pantheon can work out. We so far been skeptical towards the champion But if he can pilot it with finally diving towards the AD carry and actually playing towards the Pantheon and just not letting him lane, that's when it works, and they know how to do that at ENCE.
The rule
I've
is,
honestly felt that bot lane has been the key, Jamada. But hey,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, I think the rule is ENCE are allowed to play Pantheon. The rest of the tournament so far, they haven't convinced me on Coolbook yet. Like ENCE did a great job executing.
right, as we said, Goodbug's right. We're on a bit of a tight schedule here getting into our last game, so we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have that champion select ready to go. Champion select ready to go. We are diving into our last game of the night, our third game of the series. Riddle have chosen red side. The Karthus band coming out strong versus Chelm. And we're going to wait to see Twisted Fate. Okay, I was going to say Twisted Fate, maybe it's going to be considered as there is a blue side, ENCE, and it will be the first ban for Riddle.
So kind of going back to what we saw in the first half, but except Energy not allowed to play this Galio again, and with good reason, I think. So you don't want to stop them from being proactive on the map, but you also want to stop with the flanks he just had. He's really good at finding his opportunities in teamfights. Granted, he didn't have any opportunities last game, but I understand why they want to shut him down.
And I want to see what champions end up remaining. Not actually too interested in what kind of gets banned. I feel like Riddle, they may just default to the Lilia ban versus Taiki unless they really feel like they want something else removed from the previous get. Okay, well, Jack Spectre obviously for Ash apparently, but I mean that leaves the Pantheon and both the Lilia up too. So we're finally seeing a Lilia being locked in. I think the first time on our stream. So.
Yeah, for sure. Not the first time that Taiki have been piloting this champion, so we know he is playing it. Nice little Rammus hover. I actually forgot that champion existed, so it's like just being refreshed, but I don't think we're actually going to see that champion pick coming through in this one. Champion still up like Graves, Kindred if you want to go into that one, but no, Jack Spectre special coming in hot. Never mind, it's Syndra.
Yeah. You know, when it gets hovered that late, I feel like it was gonna get locked in. They must have just been debating between. No.
I was like, whoa, that's a late hover.
Because timer, when the timer runs down really close, especially if it's like a half democracy type thing in Champ Select, champion names get thrown out there. So obviously they must have wanted the Draven and the Syndra at the same time. They couldn't make up their mind. So yeah, we're gonna see the Jack Spectre special with the Draven and. After last game,
this is what happens when a guy gets behind 2 items on an Ezreal versus Ashe, and he's like, "I'll show you. I'll show you."
Yeah, and very assassin-heavy hovers from the mid lane.
Yeah.
Kind of bait, I think, us and viewers at home as okay. We go from Irelia Z to Orianna. Sad times.
It's a safe pick. It works well with the comp setup so far. Let's see where Riddle decide to go with. Do they secure a support that they want, or yeah, they do. They go for Pantheon.
All right. Yes.
So I initially thought of Thresh here and then just get rid of the Pantheon because there's no reason to play against it. Now let's see if Riddle is one of the teams that is going to get the Pantheon pass by actually not inting on the champion and playing towards it. But when you have a Draven and you pair it up with Pantheon, it screams to me we need something to happen in bot lane. And we were talking about safe bot lanes before. Maybe you need to ban the Braum here just so you get rid of that shielding and the stun up. Yeah. Maybe you need to ban the likes of. I'm actually not too sure. If they continue down the engage road, they might ban Nautilus as well. But it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they're going to try and get rid of the junglers that have priority, so it won't be as easy for Chelm to get down there. But all in all, Chell might as well pick J4 again and then just walk bot lane. All you need is him down there, and you might fall behind Taiki in this matchup. But if you can make Kero suffer like Jack Spectre just did in the last game, it might be all worth it.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I actually really like the divot towards the Tahm Kench ban. It obviously plays into peeling and surviving the dives. Well, not only that, something that most people kind of forget is that, to a degree, Tahm Kench for the early game and then as soon as he gets level 11 can match the Pantheon global. So I'm a big fan of that ban in particular, and just going to see Graves removed away. I feel like that's kind of not necessarily a throwaway because it is an S tier jungler ban, but not exactly the jungler you would imagine per se would want to participate in these dives on the bottom side with the Pantheon and with the Draven. So like you said, Gulborg, we are just going to see because of that, the Jarvan lock-in, and it should be a whole lot of pain for the end spot lane if they want to run it back on what just happened to them.
Well, I'm just getting the impression that Riddle are all in here. Like, this is basically a go hard or go home composition. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink, and if it doesn't hit, if it doesn't stick, they're going to fall off the edge of the planet. So I think this is a very, very risky, but if they get it right, dominating comp that they're running right now.
Yeah. Okay. So Thresh is gonna come down. You have a window where you can actually flay the Pantheon stun, albeit it's a small window. What I like about them actually picking their jungler here as well. Granted, you already know you're picking into Lilia, but you're also doing that. Nili can't actually get a favorable matchup. So let's say you're just gonna be stomping this bot lane. It's actually so hard for Nili and ENCE in general to find a winning matchup on the opposite lane here. So I like the GP pick here in general because it creates some more global pressure. It's a safe lane you can play for, and it can scale up and be a threat in itself. Really good pick here. I think it's the only one you could really have defaulted to while not falling all the way behind. But we've already seen GP into Vladimir with mixed results, but Flashes earlier come to mind where he just completely 1v9'd, and there's a lot of juicy targets for Vladimir here in the team cup events.
I think you lock the Vladimir. I think if you can sustain the early game, you get to level 5+. Okay, then he goes for the. Okay. Look, I was going to say maybe Vladimir gives you a late game team fight get out clause. There is no late game team fight get out clause anymore for Riddle. If they mess this up, and if they get behind in the mid game, this game's done. Like this game's over. They want to win, and they want to win post 6 like early.
Like Scoundrel, Rock. Rock is here. Rock will smash. I'm sure. After the bottom lane,
sure? You're really sure. You're very sure.
Look, Riddle. They want payback for what just happened to their bottom lane very clearly. Albeit, I've got to say, GP's gonna have a pretty decent time into the Malphite early on, for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I do like the GP response. Once you hit that like 6 to 7 minute mark, like Goldberg says, there's gonna be that global response to some of these early dives. So I like what both teams are running here. I think there's a very clear path that Riddle want to play down, and I feel like for ENCE it's going to be more about sort of reacting and surviving.
Well, guys, here we go. Last words on these team comps before we get into the game. Who wins this one?
It's by the Pantheon. You end it, you lose it, you win it, you win it. There you go. Like it is, you live and die by it.
Yeah, live and die by the Pantheon. I agree. I think if Pantheon fails the first dive or the second dive, donezo.
Okay, bit of a cop-out answer, but I'll take it. Orcs and Hip Brain, final game of the night. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Scoundrels. We're getting ready to go into our final game of the day. It's the 25th game in 4 days. I've been a little bit drained, but I'm also really excited to get into this one. We had a very, very close game number 1 between Riddle and ENCE, and then ENCE just smacked Riddle about pretty hard. So 1 apiece, and winner here goes through into the next round, and the loser, unfortunately, will be kicked out of the tournament. So it really is do or die for both of these teams. As we take to the Rift. There we go. Get out in the end for game number 3. Told you I was tired.
I feel like everyone in this game will be pretty tired. It's getting quite late at night, and it has been a long fought series. Riddle needs to just bounce back mentally from the last one, and I like to see that the draft they've gone for, like, we want the aggression now. We want a challenge. Thing is, a critical factor in the success for ENCE last game was the invade bot side. Looks like we're not seeing that from Riddle. And if you want to play a map split, if you want to dive this bot lane, that was one of the conditions. So this may not be as punishing as the I don't think many things are going to be as punishing as the early game ENCE showed us last game. As the Death said, Riddle need momentum in this game to come out swinging.
Minions have spawned.
I'll have to keep our eyes on to Chelm. Especially, I want to keep my eyes on Jack Spectre. Had a very, very rough game on the Ezreal in that second game. Pantheon Draven. Actually kind of scary. Actually really scary.
A lot of burst potential.
A lot of burst potential. Nihus will spot out this invade. We'll get the Q off, and might just be a little careful here. Burn from both the trial by fire and the passive of Taiki is going to hurt. Does mean we might see a map split once again between Chelm and Taiki, but this time it's Riddle who had the bot lane prowess.
Yeah, why would you opt into that map split?
That is, yeah, that is a rough one, actually.
I mean, you don't have mid priority though, because you're playing against a Syndra. This is a very strange decision.
Yeah,
maybe it's thought process. Maybe it's a very greedy thought process from Taiki that if you try and play for your bot side, you're going to get bullied out. I can understand that perspective. Maybe it's like, I can't do anything against their bot lane and mid lane and Jarvan coming at me, so I'll just engage the map split so I don't get 3 buffed. But yeah, for sure, this is a scenario which Riddle is happy with. Already taken the red buff. Taiki's making his way down there to try and clear away some of their jungle, but Energy's in the wings. Looks like Team's going to back away.
It looks like he will give that one up, but red trade about across the board does mean the map split is now over. Taiki is on this
That
bottom
was a
side of
long
the
map
map.
split. Long map split.
Yeah,
How did we even withstand that?
I
a
think
long time.
ENCE are a lot happier with the way that went than the way it went for Riddle last game.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Many things went as bad as it did go for Riddle last game, but now you can see that Kevo and Steph feel pretty comfortable. They have the jungler backing them up, waves in no case spot, so they're now actually comfortable to push out a bit. And Spirit and Riddle not really in a position to make a move now. Steph's actually looking for this play.
Yeah, he is looking for it. Jack pops the blood rush and quick Steph dodging out on everything there. Will get caught out by the deadly flourish, but teleports are coming in. The flash goes down. This is double TP time, baby. Energy comes in for Scat of the Week, and now the turnarounds are going to be there. Jack Spectre dancing on the edge of the fight, but Chell makes his way forward, and Jack is juggling axes left, right, and center. First blood to the Draven, into the stun onto Kevo. Make that another one as Quickstep takes a hook. Underneath the tower, he is flayed as Seth gets an answer out. A 2-for-1 in favor of Riddle.
Huge committal there, and I've got to say, Riddle coming out ahead. Kill for the Draven, big gold influx with that first blood, and on top of that, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Absolutely happy with that situation. Big party in the bot lane, big fiesta, but Riddle come out ahead of that one. Red buff as well on a Jack Spectre. That's how you want the game to start. Still, again, not quite as good as ENCE had in the last game, but you'll take it.
900 gold lead. Obviously, Draven didn't really have too many stacks to cash in on, so has got himself a slate. Well, he has got a lead over Kevo.
800 gold lead. Yeah, he's going to
Pretty
go
nice.
to base and buy a Bloodthirst. Not Bloodthirst, a BF if he wants to.
That'd be a hell of a lead if he could just buy a Bloodthirster on this base.
Pretty broken. Yeah, can get BF Sword if he wants to go towards that. Could end up going a more lethality build. But he is going to take that BF Sword. A lot of AD. Back up the Q damage. That's the thing, if you look at Kevo's build. Oh, engagement
Good
in.
stun, actually. Energy gonna force the flash out as Quickstep comes in with a spear. Aegis means he doesn't take any damage from that tower dive either. There's Chell needs to be careful. The bowling ball will hit into the slow. Taiki can now start dancing around.
Not really
gonna
much to
follow
do
up
to
there.
chase though. But it's good burning the flash from Simply as well. Utilizing the Pantheon how it should be. Making your presence known on the map. And applying pressure in lanes more than just your own. And look at this bot lane. Kevo has the movement speed. But the thing is, you can't sidestep the Pantheon stun. You can't sidestep the Draven axes. And at this point, when you have no AD in your items and he has a BF sword, you just get out-traded so hard.
Yeah, really hard. Really, really hard. Red buff as well. So these are just fights you don't opt into.
Yeah, the red buff faded though. But
Okay, well.
for that short period of time, it was definitely a bad idea. Now it's...
Now it's just a slightly bad idea. Before it
pretty
was
bad
a
idea.
horrific idea.
Yeah. I'll consent to that.
Wave's also stuck in a really awkward place, and this is actually going to force Taiki to maybe come down and see if he can fish something with the bowling ball. Although there is jungle attention. Chelm's about hasn't been spotted. Is just going to clear the ward though.
Wave is eventually going to crash into ENCE, so Kevo and Steph to just wait. You can see Spectre and Riddle, Spectre and Quickset, sorry, just have to slowly push this one in. This gives opportunity for Riddle to go for this dragon, because realistically, priority mid, priority bot, no real way that ENCE contest this one.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea for ENCE just to give this one up. They will get a nice shove in there. Nearly does have a lead over Nihus, but kind of expected really, and level 6 has been achieved, and that's a pretty rough trade actually. We'll be able to tangerine it back up, but now Nihus does have the ultimate available, teleport available as well, so something Steph and Kevo will always have to be careful of is that teleport coming in from a Malphite. Unstoppable Force can be really effective into this Jhin, who's already pretty immobile outside of the flash, as they actually do jump in onto Jack Spectre. The stun has connected, and a couple axes do get juggled out by Jack Spectre. Doesn't have himself the ulti, so no real kill potential there.
Gotta be a bit cautious, because there is that cannon barrage that can come in. Looks like ENCE just actually going to back away from the tower. They're so scared of getting dived here. I understand it, but you're losing a lot of CS. Should be able to get there for the cannon.
This feels
Not so bad
personal.
here.
This bot lane feels really, really personal.
But honestly, they navigate it okay. Yes, they missed some CS there. Yes, they're down a bit in farm, but they don't go down. They managed to pick up the cannon.
Yeah,
Hard situation to be in, but could definitely be worse. You can see both mid lane and bot lane significant CS leads so far, but top and jungle are doing all right now for the end.
yeah, absolutely. Although, remember, it is the Malphite, like I said earlier. The gold's nice, but it is, you know, you are a bit pretty much an old bot. You are playing weak side, so being able to farm up is nice.
I will say a Fed Malphite does feel invincible,
Yes, you are correct.
but
You'd have to play really bad in this lane to make the Malphite fed as Nilly, though.
yeah, I mean, it kind of comes down to pressure from the rest of your team, but realistically, all the pressure is going towards bot when they can find the opportunity. Herald is up and available, and looks like Chio might be looking to go towards it. You see, looks like the bot lane was toying on the idea of going top side, but have opted out of it. Not wanting to give up this bot lane tower. So obviously, if you go top side to contest the Herald, they can just essentially push in. Although, to be honest, I feel like you could have done that with the Gangplank ultimate. You're not really too scared.
Spectre actually going to get put to sleep by the lilting lullaby. Quickstep gets the taunt in. They've got the follow-up. Whirling Death not got enough mana here. So Jack Spectre can't find too much more as the bowling ball does get sent down, doesn't hit anyone.
Yeah, that was actually really badly executed from ENCE. So I'm going to hold that thought. We'll let the play continue out. Energy looking for a stun.
Land that scatter, does able to get it. Here comes Shelm into the Cataclysm, into the Grand Starfall. Kevo's locked down, and it's already been one for Riddle. Energy gets himself a double kill as Quickstep will put a beautiful Aegis up to survive the ultimate. Riddle played that superbly.
Yeah, nice play there. Quickstep actually flashing over the wall to avoid the tower hit. Crushing victory, and they're putting the hit down on this bot lane. Should be able to pick up another plate here and get their resets in. Now, one, I think the cannon barrage was used a little bit prematurely from Nilly, but also I hope we get a replay of that because I kind of want to highlight the mistake that was made between the lilting lullaby and the cannon barrage interaction. So if anyone who's unfamiliar, damage over time effects don't actually break the sleep. So if you cannon barrage on top of someone who's slept by Lilia, it doesn't break it. So you know when they landed the sleep on Jack Spectre, what they should have done is instantly cannon barraged, let him tank a ton of damage, and then broken it at the end. Instead, they just left him for such a long time and only used the cannon barrage at the end, and he could just walk out of it.
While we're learning about this, does Death's Daughter proc it or not? The upgrade to the Gangplank ultimate, the big circle in the center.
To my knowledge, no, but I'm not 100% certain.
We'll have to go test that at some point.
Do you know which one? Do you know which one is fun that doesn't break it?
What?
Misfortune ultimate.
What?
Yeah, it's damage over time. So
Yeah, I guess
doesn't
you're
break the
right.
sleep. I've seen that interaction before. It's really crazy.
That's
Like
horrid.
you have a team who are slept by Lilia, and there's just a misfortune ult just shredding them, and they're just chilling.
If anybody's wondering why I'm not really that informed on what actually interacts with Lilia's ultimate, it's because she's been permabanned for this entire tournament. Jack
And
Spectre.
look how good
is
she's doing
big.
now.
Yeah, no, it's actually, considering how much priority there's been on banning the Lilia, feels like maybe it was a little bait.
Nah, I feel like Lilia's just a champion that's a little bit tricky to execute on, and I also feel like if your bot lane's getting smashed, it becomes really hard to play. Now, I don't think they're really getting smashed, but clear advantage here for Riddle. And they're looking to secure this second dragon and set a fast pace for these dragons going the late stage of the game. I think Infernal Soul would be amazing for them here.
Yeah, it'd be really, really nice. I mean, Cloud is still okay, but, you know, Infernal would be game-breaking for ENCE if they were to lose that. Jack Spectre has 212 adoration stacks at the moment, so probably looking to try and get a kill onto him, because that would be a massive swing in gold for the Draven.
See, once again, looking to apply this pressure bot lane. Taiki is waiting there. They have the cannon barrage. But Herald thrown down just kind of means tower's gone.
Yeah, Kevo takes an auto attack from Jack and goes, ooh, maybe not. You're pretty scary, my dude. That's going to be plate gold, first turret blood, all into Jack Spectra's pocket. Thank you very much for toggling the gold at that point, Observer. You can see 5,300 gold into Jack Spectra, where it's 3,600 into Kevo. How the tables have turned.
Honestly, this is the biggest difference I've seen between AD carries since last game.
I actually think Kevo was still smashing Jack Spectra a lot harder in game 2.
It was way harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Has gone for the BF into the Sanguine Blade. So pretty powerful item for Draven in terms of dueling. Get the lifesteal and the lethality.
It's interesting because it's obviously been a while since we've seen a Draven. I've seen a few varying opinions on what you should build. This looks like a bit of a mix, but I've seen the crit build where you go Bloodthirster into Infinity Edge or Storm Razor first sometimes. The lethality mixed with a BF Sword means we probably still will get the Bloodthirster from Jack Spectra.
Personally, I think that... So one of the things with Draven's axes is the damage on Draven's axes can't crit. Like the extra damage on them. The base auto can, but you can't... You know how you get an extra however much AD? That can't crit, but it can lifesteal, and it is affected by the lethality, which is why I feel like I favor those builds. Because, I mean, eventually Draven gets crit because crits are just strong, and it helps keep your DPS later on. But in terms of earlier spikes, an Infinity Edge isn't necessarily more spectacular on a Draven than it is on any other champion. In fact, there's a lot of other AD carries who utilize it better. But lifesteal and lethality are crazy on Draven just because he gets such a large amount of bonus damage on his autos, and they really sync well with that. That's why Bloodthirster First is so common, because Draven's damage output is so high and you get lifesteal from those axes.
Works well with the big AD is Chelm has been caught out, has flashed away here momentarily, but I was expecting maybe a little bit of a turnaround this side, not to go for it. It's just a flash burn from Chelm, so a good hook from Seth.
Yeah,
force that out.
Didn't have the info or the vision, so I think it was the right call just to back away on that one. Could potentially get punished there, and I think they're comfortable just finding their windows and not getting baited into fighting on ENCE's terms.
Jack's going to look to try and get some more plates for himself. 300 stacks now.
I'd be impressed if he got plates at this point in the game.
You know, I mean, towers, falling ball. There we go.
Yeah, so hypothetically, if he slept then, they could just put a full cannon barrage on him. He wouldn't be able to move. How broken is that interaction?
Very interesting, actually, because you can break a Zoe bubble with anything.
No, damage over time doesn't break sleep.
Wait, really?
Zoe bubble. Yeah.
Wow. I played Zoe pretty much exclusively last season, and I still didn't know that.
It's important, because imagine if you throw your E down as Lilia.
It makes sense for Lilia, yeah, because obviously her passive is you do damage over time.
So they just said, well, we'll do that for all damage over time effects. Make clarity, you know.
Did they? So they changed it on Zoe then?
I'm not sure.
Because
I just know that's how it is at the moment. I don't know the
Okay.
history of it. I just know that's how it is at the moment.
If you know, let me know on Twitter, HitPrain. You can make me look silly because I actually did main Zoe last year. So if I got that wrong, I'm going to look like a right dongus.
Wait. Jake being Jake looking like a dongus? Wow. What a new and amazing concept.
We made a new word for what I am.
Yep. I know several, but not all of them are broadcast appropriate.
I'd say a good 90% of them probably aren't broadcast appropriate. Anyway, Infernal Drake spawning up. You can tell I'm getting really tired now. Need some action to wake me up. It is going to be up in 30 seconds, and hopefully I might get something that's going to wake me up a little bit.
Well, the vision control afforded over to Riddle around this area, but ENCE fine mid-priority and should be able to move out and clear it up. Wildfight TP, pretty threatening here. And we got some big spikes. Energy at level 11. That ult, 2 points they're going to hit, but the same can be said to the shockwave from Simply. TP flank coming in now.
Oh, there's been a big turnaround. The Whirling Death's there already. Seth goes golden, gives the gold to Jack Spectra. Not going to be able to get it. His energy steals away the kill. Everybody else caught inside the Cataclysm. His energy just unleashes power. Simply goes down. A double kill for the Syndra. And that will be Dragon for Riddle.
There's that level 2 ultimate, and energy just easily decimates from that fight. And another. Why not?
Oh, wait. What?
Well, third dragon, ton of kills. Riddle looking pretty good in this one.
This win has to feel better than a 2-0 win. We'll talk about that in a second, because let's look at this once again.
The initial engage is great here on the start. He does stop much to buy time, but the flank from the Malphite coming in, combined with the Jarvan. Yes, they don't die in this situation, but it's an instant fight winner, the solo. And energy, just the confidence there to find the burst. Easily manhandles 3 members. Not only does he get that kill on a Simp, he also gets Taiki at the end. 5-0-2 on this Syndra now. You know, we're talking about the difference in the bot lane. This mid lane matchup is going pretty rough.
It really is. You've also got James Bond in the jungle. Chelms 007 up just a little bit of gold over Taiki, but every little helps to him at this point. Like I said, the mid and the AD carries are going to be a real issue for ENCE. Riddle getting started up by ENCE, well, by Riddle here, sorry.
No contest. Not really much you can do in this situation. I think ENCE at this point are kind of on damage control. Looking and asking themselves, at what point? At what time? And it's kind of rough to say, because it doesn't matter what time you think we can fight. In 3.5 minutes is an Infernal Soul. I think if you give that over, game's done. Series done, you have a tournament. So ENCE need to find a way back into the game by then, and at a 5k gold deficit, well, 4.5. I don't see it coming out right now.
Oh, I want to see Jack Spectre get a kill so bad. He's got 400 stacks. It's going to be monstrously fed off just 1 kill. The onus really on ENCE is, if they can kill him, that's actually a really nice shutdown they effectively get. Just by stopping the stacks.
If.
That is the big key, if. He's got lifesteal, he's got a lot of AD, got lethality, and he also has a pretty solid team around him to keep him alive. Chelm takes a bit of a chunk. Good scout of the week out.
You know what it takes, though. You know what it takes. 5-man Lily ult into 5-man Shockwave with a 5-man Cannon Barrage on top. That's all you need.
Yeah,
that
easy. Easy
that
pickings.
easy. Yeah. 2 minutes 15. Seraph stacked simply is something, but again, I mean, we're now seeing energy back. I think he has Banshees now. And we've just seen the Infinity Edge picked up for Jack Spectre, so it's really hitting seeing this item differential. It's just like an extra item on the carries.
This has to feel so good for Riddle. This has to feel better than getting a 2-0. ENCE smashed them, and I mean smashed them in game 2. Riddle come back into game number 3, and they put a show on. Jack Spectre pulls out his Draven. Has a 50 CS lead closing in on over Kevo. Mid lane 5-0-2. This has to feel spectacular for them. But it's not over. ENCE still do have tools to work with. The Orianna obviously will scale up pretty effectively into the later stages of the game. Same for the Jhin. Same for the Gangplank. So there is absolutely options. As Jack Spectre tries to steal away the blue buff from Simply. Doesn't quite get it with the Whirling Death, but it's now the Whirling Death down the next fight.
Cooldown's pretty short, though. I feel like that's probably going to be up for the fight. You can see ENCE trying to find a way in to get some vision contested around this dragon, but Engage actually coming in.
Yeah, going for the Cataclysm onto Steph. Whirling Death not available, but the Cannon Barrage has been layered down. They're looking for it. Energy's coming in. The Unleashed Power not enough to get the kill as he's burning down low. Sleep lands onto Nihus. He's going to get himself taken out. Kevo finds the kill as the curtain gets cooled. Quicksilver can tank this up, though. He has that Aegis if needs be. 4 shots connect, and that's actually going to probably be the dragon. Over to ENCE. Good stuff from them there.
Teleport's going to be up for Nihus. He's not going to have ultimate, but he is going to be able to TP in. I know that was a good scenario for ENCE by any means, but I'm not sure it's enough.
Shell just smited that to make sure they got it.
Oh,
good spiral actually from Nilly. Looking for a bit here. Shockwave onto 2. That's the shot down. They take the parks off.
They did it!
Oh my lord, ENCE just come alive!
Found a huge combo, Nilly with the barrel, and then they follow up beautifully. Not only do they get the dragon and deny the soul, they shut down the stacks on Jack Spectra, and they managed to shore up that gold lead by a significant amount. They're actually looking towards this Baron. This could be a bit risky. Their timers are pretty short. Oh, energy.
Energy looking for it. Gets the scatter, gets the ball, doesn't quite hit it.
No, you can't Baron. Please don't do this.
Nihus has ult. This is so risky, but Nihus may find himself in trouble. The hook's on, the deadly flourish to follow. He is down.
Great decision making. Honestly, great decision making. Don't go for the Baron. Everyone is up for Riddle, and they probably would just be able to beat you up while you're on it. You go for an extra pick, you get it. And that gold lead that we're talking about shrunk quite a bit. That needed to be the fight for ENCE, and they found it.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Let's have a little look at that fight again.
So just a great barrel combo coming in here. Jack Spectra probably should have flashed earlier, but does manage to get away. And it's just a very split. The shockwave as well, huge. And it just feels like Riddle aren't on the same page. They're going in one at a time. Quickstep goes for the ultimate to get in. That leaves Jack Spectra isolated. And it was just kind of a good opportunity from ENCE, but Riddle didn't seem to be firing on the same cylinders. Kind of looked a bit lost. And ENCE found the opportunity.
Really did, but looks like Riddle now pinging out around this Baron. We've got the sweepers. They're having a little check around. They think they're unsuspected at the moment, but Cannon Barrage is available, and it's quite hard to actually do Baron with a gangplank on the enemy team, especially with the fact he's got that Essence Reaver finished up. So 2 items. It's going to hurt like a truckers. Baron's going to get started. It's going down fairly quickly. Enter a little hesitant to step in. Half health on Baron. There's the Cannon Barrage forced out. Jack Spectra dodges away. In goes Nillis. Trying to see if he can find something else. Put to sleep by the looting lullaby, and Kevo finds the kill. The curtain has been called. Jack Spectra was asleep for a moment as he's taking a lot of shots. What are you doing, Chelm? Jack goes down, and all of a sudden, Riddle are just wiped from the map.
Energy, the only member alive. They know where he is. They got to be a little bit cautious of him, but they managed to crush that fight. Overzealous from Riddle. Actually, Energy's TPing out. He knows he can't do anything. 4 for 0 from ENCE. Beautiful execution there. Find everything they want and more.
I can't believe Chelm did that. That was the biggest betrayal I've ever seen. Let's have a little look at this again.
We knew fighting on the Baron was a bad thing. The ult comes in, but no follow-ups there in time. The sleep is perfect. Everyone plays bodyguard for Jack Spectra, but as soon as the curtain call comes down, they know this is a lost fight. They start kiting away, and Cheelm dashes out. Jack Spectra dies as a result, but it doesn't mean Cheelm gets the safety. The shockwave in the mix of the cataclysm at the end to follow through, and it's just an overreach from Riddle. Disrespect. Again, if you're on red side, it's very hard to get out the Baron pit, and on top of that, Cannon Barrage is such a powerful tool. And it was literally a bowling alley. Topside river, throwing the bowling balls down from the Lilia, throwing the curtain call, fish in a barrel.
Energy is able to pull these cannon minions away. How effectively can ENCE use this Baron buff? That's the question. Mid lane turret is still fairly healthy.
That's the thing, is they're now ahead in gold, and there's a lot of towers they can start taking on the map.
Yeah, a lot locked gold on the map. Jack's going to do his best to try and clear out the waves, but he doesn't feel comfortable doing more than one auto on the minions or having to run away. Kevo, on the other hand, comes in with a 4th shot and is able to do a lot there. Barrel will get dodged out as Chelm getting a little bit of damage from Taiki. It probably will just be the end of this turret as it finally crumbles down. Riddle just trying to play interrupt, trying to play this slower. There's a big wave crashing in topside, so that's just lost gold as well to Riddle. 1 minute until this dragon comes up. And ENCE have won the last 2 team fights.
ENCE's focus is on this dragon. They do not want to give up the dragon soul. You can see News was looking for a flank there. Has backed away towards bot lane, is moving in. A flank's actually really punishing here because it means Kevo's not going to be able to fire off that ultimate. Recall's actually coming in though from News. He's actually going to go back and teleport in.
Bowling ball dodged away. Is ooh, good hook from Steph into the deadly flourish, but the flag and drag means he's going to be able to get out. But Dragon's still spawning in a second, and there is a lot of poke. There is a lot of just consistent damage landing. Quicksteph's trying to dodge away on all of these shots, able to dodge away on the 4th one. Does throw the Aegis out. just in case it hit. And Riddle, they may just give this up. It's only the second dragon. I say that, it looks like they're looking to fight. Looks like they're looking to scrap here. Nihu's making his way forward. Chelm onto that flank. Trying to see if he can get the opportunity in. Seth jumps over the walls. Dragon half HP. Chelm. Can he get this steal? Can he pick this up? Already Nihu's is just going to get chunked. Kevo is unstoppable right now. Grand Starfall by Quicksef. Quicksef just flashes away instantly, but hooked on and simply secures the kill.
Riddle seem lost at the moment. Cheelm's going to try for a steal here. You see ENCE are looking to play interruption already, pulling the dragon as far out as possible. They've spotted Cheelm with that blue trinket. But
And they run interruption. Energy has to flash away. Is put to sleep by the lilting lullaby. Chelm on that flank, but Nilly will just follow him down. The shutdown picked up, and Chelm, he's out of there. Jack Spectra doing his own thing, just pushing up in the mid lane. We'll actually take an inhibitor turret here.
It's a consolation prize, but at the end of the day, Dragon denied again. Beautiful play from ENCE. Patience to track down Cheelm. And just really strong execution. Honestly, Steph was going so aggressive when he walked up in that fight. But it worked. It worked well. He managed to take out Nihus before he even got a chance to use his ultimate.
Yeah. We are seeing the base coming out from Jack Spectra, probably picking up his rapid fire cannon any moment now. Means he will be able to get those long range autos down, and they will hurt. There's the rapid fire cannon finished up, and an extra crit cloak, just to add a little bit more crit chance into those autos.
I think the big difference at the moment is top lane.
Yes.
Nearly 3 items on this gangplank, 408. He hasn't even been part of a single kill in the small fight.
He's just dying before he can even ult half the time.
This hasn't been very rock solid.
Far from it. What was it Jamada said? Rock will smash?
I think rock gets smashed.
I think rocks become gravel as the... Sleep is up. Oh, bye. Okay. This is just going completely wrong. ENCE are just walking through Riddle here. A double kill picked up for Taiki, and that is the ace. ENCE have just turned what looks really dire back around once again.
Crushing victory, honestly. The opening on these fights so strong. Combination of the GP ultimate with the Lilia and the curtain call really hard to deal with. And this is just them going to look for the end. 10 seconds for Cheelm and Jack Spectra up is well enough time for them to end the game here with 5 members.
And Jack Spectra alone is not going to be able to hold this. He does have a Whirling Death to clear the wave out, but the tower is already going to be dead. The Nexus has been laid bare. This is going to have to be one hell of a fight. The Nexus will fall, and this is ENCE pushing Riddle out of the competition and advancing to week 2. ENCE. Beautiful game.
I think I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if the results completely of the games that went on stream, but I'm pretty sure right now I have a 100% prediction rate for today. If Vikings have won. So hopefully production will update me on the full scores, and I'll see if I nailed the predictions. By the way, I got this one right.
I hope we do that after. I don't want to see your smug face.
I mean, what a comeback, though.
Typing. If you give me an update, okay, cool. He's not giving me an update. That's good.
At the game 1, though, all I can say is the comeback from ENCE, and even in game 3 where things were looking rough, their team fighting was stellar and nearly a massive driving force in that last game.
Honestly, incredible performance there from ENCE to pull that back. Viking won as well, so
100% protection rate. I'm so good.
God damn it. Why did you have to type? I am so sad they typed in there. But with that fantastic showing from ENCE, a really, really solid turnaround. And especially when Jack Spectra finally started to get some revenge for that Ezreal game, they then just shut him down. They focus him out. They blow him up constantly. Orcs is pulling smug faces. I can't take looking at this anymore. We're going to throw a little quick break, and when we're back, we actually have Nilly standing by for an interview. See you in a sec.
Usually I'm pretty restrained, you know? Usually I'm pretty chill.
Okay.
But Riddle absolutely sprinted it down that game, and I had them predicted to win. Riddle, why? Like, why did you do that to me? Okay, that's out my system. It's out my system. Absolutely out my system. Guys, that game.
I'm scared.
What happened?
I'm scared.
Sorry, Dad doesn't get angry that much, but that should have been Riddle's game. Holy moly!
Yeah, I think it should have been Riddle's game, and they had everything going for them. They were one dragon away from Soul. I think it's just one of those things where you run a composition which is so kind of tempo based at the end of the day, in the mid game at least, and then you consistently have people that just drop off or get picked off in really awkward positions, or you look like you have a favorable fight, but it's not actually a favorable fight, and you've just like miscalculated numbers advantage and where people are, and then you just die and you die and you die. And I said Malphite rock. Malphite was paper. It turns out
Don't get me started on Malphite, please.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate series of events. Well, I'd say unfortunate. It looked really like Riddle. I don't know. They just lost it. They lost their composition once. Once they like got picked off once or twice back to back. They just didn't really ever reform together.
There was a moment, Gulborg, and I think actually this might be the play that you've selected to break down, because this was the pivotal moment. This was the turning point. So let's have a look at that, and you can kind of run it through for us, because it was a thing.
So first of all, I think it's some good timers. You got good setup. You can push out a wave still, like even 2 waves before this next Drake spawns. And for some reason, they're just so tempted to go in here. Your AD carry right now is farming mid lane. Your Malphite, no position to hold the target you're on. And it's such a split fight. Like, you blow everything. And as soon as NLC see this, they're like, they're inting. We'll take them down now. And that's the first kill. That's the second kill. The Drake fight goes on. They'll end up to just kill them all, and they get the Drake, and it's just over. Like, ENCE must have been so happy when that happened.
Hey, yeah. Look, I'll be honest with you. If ENCE held their own versus what was a really, really honestly good early game from Riddle, like they basically punished the bot lane as much as ENCE punished their as ENCE punished them in the previous game. And to keep your mental in a good place and then essentially come back in that game and win, that deserves credit as well. So I've actually got Nilly on the interview ready to chat to me, so I'll have a chat with him about that game. Because I'm less tilted now that I got it out of my system, guys. I'm less tilted now I got it out of my system. Nilly, congratulations. You actually qualified there. It looked like a pretty rough game. We were saying that early game looked pretty rough for you guys. What did you guys do, and what was your game plan like to get back in that game despite kind of having a bit of a rough early one?
Yeah, so early was really rough. So we were kind of behind, and we knew against our comp that we can't just walk in 5v5, we will always lose. So we just tried to get a desperation, like pick somewhere in jungle and try to go from there. And I think we got 1 pick, so we just snowballed that and won the fight.
Yeah, and they did that about 5 more times. Because Riddle didn't quite manage to make it work in their team fights following that. And what were you like in communications like? What were your comms like in that game? Especially from the early game and then trying to turn it back. Were you guys upbeat or was it kind of more like sullen? What were the comms like?
Well, obviously we were a bit down, but we still tried to be like, yeah, we can win this game, guys. Just try to get a pick. But yeah, it was a bit down, but yeah, we managed to turn it back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you were pretty happy after you started to get the Baron and then the Dragons and defend the Soul as well. So you must have been kind of on the upbeat there as well. And have you guys got anything that you're planning on working on? Because this was obviously a very tough series. It could have gone either way off that last game. Are you guys got any plans on what you think you're going to work on before quarterfinals?
I mean, we obviously have work to do. We're not that consistent. We sometimes make really stupid mistakes and take really bad fights that we should never win. So just focusing in our own game plan and not playing into enemy's game plan. That's the biggest point, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys obviously deserve to be here. I'm really glad that you guys have made it through to those quarterfinals, and we'll get to see you play again next week. So, Nile, thank you for chatting to me. Yeah, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, see you.
There you go. He's concise. Nearly always concise in the interviews. Okay, so we have a player of the day as well, which I think Gulborg, I think you're also running me through this player of the day. So you've selected a play from today that you enjoyed the most. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was an obvious one, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it as well. It's just, you know, we've seen it a bit today, but you know, I like the mechanics. It's just great, you know, the flashes, the Sin kick later, into the Warthog, into the Sonic Wave. You know how it goes, so how about we just watch it here, okay? Jude think he's gonna get the ultimate of his life. 3 flashes.
That was so good, that flash, dude.
It's honestly amazing. I love watching this when you get to watch this in gameplay, because, you know, this only happens when you make a mistake, you know? And then it's a mistake you turn around because you're just that much better than your opponents, and they just highlight it like this. And my god, they isolated damage onto the Kaiser Q as well. And you know, this is just a cherry on top as well, you know? Speed up, Warthog. Yeah, I mean, it's heat-seeking. It's heat-seeking.
It was a really good play. I think, you know, Absolved showed why they deserve to be in the quarterfinals as well. Okay, so guys, we have the bracket. So we're going to show you the bracket of the quarterfinals coming your way, and I think these are the confirmed quarterfinal matchups. I'm just reading what Max has said to me because I need to get this right. I can't read and talk at the same time. So Gulborg and Jamada. Yeah, it's correct. It's correct. Thanks, Max. Thanks for confirming. It's been a long day. Been a long week. Unique versus ENCE. Barrage versus Tricked, Dusty versus Viking, and Envision versus Absolved. Any of those really stand out to you? Barrage versus Tricked, I'm looking at that and thinking, damn.
I have to talk here because that is an unfortunate draw. I mean, for both teams really, because I feel like they probably would have wanted to have met each other in the finals. Damn, that is probably gonna be the quarterfinal to watch. That is probably the 2 teams that we've highlighted throughout the tournament as being the 2 strongest. So damn, seeing them in the quarters is definitely a big deal. I feel like Unique and ENCE as well could like maybe be an interesting matchup to keep our eyes on. So yeah, I'm actually looking at the top half of the bracket, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm just looking at the bottom one. I'm like, I'm really excited to finally watch Envision, and you know, I think it's doable for them versus Absol. But I'm looking for Dusty. I'm like, they look like finals favorite for that side of the bracket. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think they are the one you need to keep an eye on in that half of the bracket, and I expect them to take it to the finals already now.
Yeah, this is going to be I think a very spicy lot of quarterfinals. Now, those are not in order of schedule, so it will not be top to bottom in terms of order of schedule. What you'll find is we're going to announce the schedule on our social media channels, and you can go and check out which will be which days. We have 4 quarterfinals. We're going to do them over the Thursday and the Friday. So all of our quarterfinals will be played on the main stream across Thursday and Friday here at NLC LOL. But for now, we're essentially winding down for the week. We've got a couple of days break, and we'll be back full swing into all of those quarterfinals across Thursday and Friday. So we'll have up to 6 games a day on Thursday and Friday again. And obviously, this is where it really comes down to crunch time. Elimination matches. Team goes forward or team goes home. This is the end of the line, no second chances. So we're really looking forward to a latter half of our NLC Full Open. But for now, for myself, Gulborg, and Jamada, we will see you next Thursday.